Yeah. Yeah. I know they mad for no reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Gotta move fast for a reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Oh, 700K, I'm selling a Bitcoin. Haters mad, but they listen to this one. More profit coming to my direction. Yeah, you know me, I don't need a mention. I got the remedy, ooh, yeah. They don't just follow me, ooh, yeah. You say allegedly, ooh, yeah. You would subscribe to me, ooh, yeah. Staring at chart, drawing a line. Make a decision, you out of time. Huddling, huddling, huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Sound Sage. OnChain Revolution. Guns. Boom.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire crypto market. What's up, guys? We have a major show for you guys today. Bitcoin's not doing good. I mean, Bitcoin dropped. Huge just dropped. Everything dropped. I mean, look at the S&P. It's down almost $70 right now. Insane for the S&P. Dropping from 67 to 66. Bitcoin just above 120, barely. Ethereum, they're seeing the 42s for the first time in a while. I've got XRP down. My entire board was green earlier. I was just talking to Yagobi. I was just like, hey, like everything's green, but barely. Everything is now red. Everything is now red. I don't know what's going on, but this week sucked. This week has been like the most boring week in crypto ever. I don't know if it's the expectation of being Q4. I don't know what it is, but like I just feel like everyone right now in crypto is bored out of their minds. I was watching a podcast earlier, and these guys they had nothing to talk about. They had nothing to talk about. They were just ripping on each other because there was nothing to talk about. It sucks right now. It sucks to be in crypto. You know, especially when this is everything. This is everything to you, right? That's how I feel. Crypto is everything. I wake up to crypto. I go to bed to crypto. I breathe to crypto. But it's boring as shit, and we understand that. But there's a lot of stuff in the news. If you are paying attention, if you do keep this momentum that the Q4 is supposed to bring, if you can believe in that still, then I think we're going to be in a good place when times get better, when times get to the point where we such accelerate. Crypto has never, ever really just been this bland and then doesn't explode after. Every single time in the markets when it's been this boring, normally it gets crazy. I mean, look back to September of 2023, right? It was the most boring summer crypto's ever had. It was like dead. And then, but that Q4 was absolutely insane. Same thing last year. I mean, the entire year from, I want to say May till November was just crap. And then it actually blew up in November, December were crazy. Some people call it the Trump pump, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. It was explosive in Q4. And I think we're going to get that again. I really, really hope so, honestly. But, you know, I'm just staring at the DXY right now. I think the DXY drop below that 96 is crucial. Whether that comes soon or next year, I think that is when the real explosion comes. But can we make money until then? Yeah, there's opportunities everywhere. We're gonna find them. We're gonna find them today. So without further ado, and bring my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? Do you feel that too? Do you feel like this just been so bland? It's like chicken with no seasoning, bro. It's so boring.
I mean, that's a pretty good way of putting it. I think this year and this cycle has been the easiest to really kind of get into that, like, not necessarily negativity, because that's not how we vibe here, but it's easy to fall into it because you see the volatility, and then you get a lot of these fake outs to the upside. But I think you said it great. You know, if you do have that conviction of a Q4 being, you know, the most bullish quarter of the year, then, you know, there's going to be a time where the switch flips, right? You have to remember too, we were just at 126 on Bitcoin. We saw some momentum. It's just these momentums are, you know, for certain tokens and alts and stuff are just kind of getting kind of, you know, I don't know, they're not sustaining, but they're also not pulling back super hyper aggressive. So that is a good sign in my opinion. I think that we're just kind of taking a little pause here to see where Bitcoin really wants to go, but it doesn't feel good because, you know, we've really wanted to get this show on the road for a long time. And whenever it comes to, you know, being officially in the last quarter, we had a rate cut last month. We're almost, you know, we're guaranteeing almost that there's a rate cut this month. It's like, you know, when do things get really risk on to where we can have that high energy to where, you know, more percentages of people are winning, because I think that's what people are missing. They see, you know, some of these small groups that have been kind of in their inner circles, whatever advantages they have, which are a lot, you know, winning, but then majority of the space gets wrecked. And that just can't be sustainable, you know, over a longer period of time. But what can, you know, be a great feeling is whenever you do get a larger percentage of the people playing and involved winning. And we have seen those situations in previous bull runs in the last quarter of that year. And I think that's the expectation, right? And we're almost in a spot to where our patience has run thin because of the ups and downs. So that's where I think, you know, today's like today can feel negative, but it you know, we know what the future holds for our industry, and I'm still very confident in this quarter.
Yeah, 100%. I'm losing confidence into this quarter, but I'm still really bullish for next year, right? Like I don't know what it is, man. The more and more I see on the timeline, everyone's like Q4, the more and more I'm just like, I don't believe it anymore.
Well, I mean, you know, we just started 10 days ago, right? So I think whenever you have an expectation, it's just that much more in your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And last year, 2023, the expectation wasn't there. You know, it was kind of like, wow, this is pretty awesome. Let's see where the
Yeah.
opportunities are. With us this year, the expectation has been the entire year, really, right? Like bidding kind of missed on in the alt market the entire year. And it goes back to kind of what we said yesterday during our show yesterday about the space wanting to force these, you know, high liquidity environments, and you just can't do that. Like that's not something that can happen unless there is liquidity floating around. Like in 2023, it was forced, but it was there. You know what I mean? It was injected into every country's market, and so that's when you can really force it. So I think, you know, for this year, until that liquidity comes, you can't force it with low liquidity, thin liquidity, right? And so the forces are going to come from, you know, entities like the Binances, like the Solanas and stuff like that, that are pumping in what they can. And it's a false kind of narrative in a sense, you know, false reality, I would say, for majority of retail users. But once that liquidity does get actually injected into our space, that's when you can kind of force it a bit, but it will also, you know, it will work because there's money.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the more money that pours in, the more exciting the things can get, 100%. But we did find some opportunities, right? We found some stuff that's happening on Solana. So these protocols are returning liquidity to users. Don't miss the next 100x meta this Q4. So this is something. This is your brainchild here. Walk us through it. Like what is going on right now that you're bullish on some projects?
Well, I do think that there's some builders that are trying to think outside of the box, right? We already have that a little bit with the strategy meta, and there's a meta that's happening on Trader Joe, which is originally a DEX on Avalanche, and it services Avalanche and Solana now. And they asked their community straightforward, hey, wait, what do you want from us? Like, how can we help, you know, get this ecosystem going? And they said, you know, give back to the users. So what they did was they created this flywheel type of situation to where they have a well, let me actually pull it up here so I can let the audience kind of learn as I break it down and make it easier for them. I'll have a visual here. So what Trader Joe did was they created this thing called King of the Mill. And this is a part of the platform called Token Mill. And I would say Solana pretty much is the one that they're really marketing this to. And the way it works is there is this, they work off of epochs, and they take a percentage of their fees and they put it into this king of the mill pool. And, you know, it has to reach a certain amount of Solana. Right now, I think it's 150, might be 200, but it gets around $50,000. And once that happens, this amount that's raised from the fees actually gets injected into the leading token in terms of volume for these epochs, right? However long it takes to get to that amount. So what it does is basically injecting, you know, these God candles into these tokens, which, you know, can kind of get the community rallying around, you know, that their token community to say, hey, we want to receive that. And the cool thing is you can't win twice. You can't win, or sorry, you can't win back to back. So you can't win twice in a row. So for example, one of these God candles have already happened with Fish Wheel. And so Fish Wheel can't win again. So they have to wait. So the next one up is the Mill token, Billionaire, right? So it's sitting at $144,000 market cap. So this is new, very new. There's only one God candle that's happened. So if this meta catches to where people get excited about it and communities are starting to be competitive, you know, some of these could run really high, because at the end of the day, you know, the leading volume token that's really aggressively leading could technically win the God candle every other day, right? And so, but the cool part is that other day, you know, can be, it's competitive as well. Like who's going to be that, who's going to take that spot, right? So this is an idea. They're putting this idea out there. We'll see if this works, but I like the fact that they're trying this, and this is a give back to users. And Solana needs to focus on users right now instead of consistently only focusing on creators and coin deployers, right? So I posted about this morning because I think this would be cool for Bitcoin as well. If there was a platform that did this for Bitcoin, you know, even if it's $10,000 or $15,000 in fees, you're at least kind of trying to kind of inject that energy into the trading markets, right? So this is one way that a team is trying to, you know, give liquidity back to the users. What do you think about this? I know it's super early, so you're not seeing a ton of like activity yet, but do you think this is something that could work?
I mean, I love the give back stuff. I do love how it's in your face and it's just, hey, 47 minutes. We're gonna send something to the moon. I'm curious though. So you said this happened once already, and that token winner was Fish Wheel. Do you know what happened? Is there a chart? Can we see kind of what happened during that huge pump?
Do you see the God candle here?
Oh, okay. That's it right there. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
This is the minute chart, but let me take it back to the hour chart, because this token has been around for a while. So I would say this is probably the main token of the platform. They launched a while back. They, you know, have, you know, I think Trader Joe. That's a grocery store. Farmer Joe is, you know, he's posted about this before, right? So this was the first experiment, right? So when it did hit that God candle in the beginning, there was people that kind of set some orders because the platform announced it. They, you know, marketed when the God candle will happen. And so they learned from that. They said, you know, we're not going to do that again, because basically that will give anticipation to some of these like trading bots and stuff. So, you know, whenever someone wins, there's going to be a range that, you know, you won't know whenever they receive that God candle, which I think is a really good thing. So it is a bit of a learning experience for the platform as well, but they are determined and dedicated to make this, you know, a better experience for the user. So you saw it happen there. So it went from basically, I think it was like right under 2 million, and it went to about I want to say right under, like maybe like 4, right under 4. So almost doubled. But if you the idea is that this starts to pick up as a meta, right? And then you start to get a lot of these kind of KOL groups and stuff, and they're like, okay, let's get over here, and the volume starts to increase like dramatically. Then you're going from $50,000 of God candles to possibly 150,000 to maybe, like, if it gets really crazy, $500,000, right? And if we're in like a bullish environment, that could do a lot for some of these newer projects that, you know, might be not. You know what I mean? Like, you can't win twice in a row, so they'll have that opportunity. I love that they did that. You can't win twice in a row. Right. So they're going through this kind of as like a learning process, because it is a new approach. And I like that it's a new approach, and that they're adjusting as they learn about things. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to happen here is to have those, you know, cabal groups just consistently winning in this as well, right? So they want to make it fair. That's why I like it. And if this is a meta that ends up working, then we'll probably see it in different ecosystems.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the play. The play would obviously, right, to potentially long it, right, or something like that, to where you have like for Mill, for instance, we know in about 44 minutes that it's going to pop, whether that's 45 minutes or an hour from now or an hour and a half. That's probably going to be the winner. Just looking at the volume and stuff. So wouldn't I just like maybe buy it now and then maybe tell Agent Hustle or one of those other platforms, hey, at this price sell? Because we do know it's probably going to go up and come back and come crashing back down.
So you could do that, right? Definitely. But I'll tell you what. So as it started getting closer and this started going up, so it's not necessarily, the epoch's not necessarily going to stop after this one, because this has to reach 150 sol first. So it could continue on, but they'll do the total volume. Yeah, so they'll do the total volume based off whenever it reset to where it is now. And so it is in the lead. So if you looked early yesterday morning, the market cap of Millionaire was around $60,000. So it's increased already, and it's gone all the way up to around 200, I want to say 200. So you can see right here, it's basically attracted people to it, right? Because people are anticipating that it's going to win. Because if you look at the volume here, 92,000 for Mill, and then it has the rankings of like who you need to catch, right?
Yeah.
So it's doubled. It's at least doubled, and I saw it go as high as like 240,000, right? So I think there's going to be strategy to this for sure, but I think that they need to really get the volume going over here, because if you get the volume going to where these god candles are like 500,000 or like gets crazy like that, then it won't be as like detrimental to like the market caps, right? Because people are going to probably try to sell those or try to time it. But imagine you're the leading token and you're hitting it every other day, and you have like a bunch of whales that just want to make sure that you're getting that liquidity every other day. That could push a token to $1 billion market cap, because you're getting six-figure injection every other day. You know what I mean? So that's, or if you're in a group of whales and you say, hey, look, we can start low with Mill because it's only 140,000. Let's do that and try to win every other day, and then you just alternate for a little bit, right? And then eventually, there's some whales that want to say, hey, let's kind of get a new token going that's hot. So it is a meta that can snowball, but people do have to buy into it. Like the ecosystem of Solana has to buy into this, and if they do, that's where you'll start to see this number go crazy. And I think if it's ever going to work, it's going to work in a like bullish timeline, right? So starting with Q4, going into end of the year, if we get bullish and we have that liquidity flow, that's whenever a meta like this could really work. So now you have like the NFT strategy, and then you have something like this. So having multiple metas, I think, is good, and it can work in multiple different ecosystems as well, right? So it seems like, so Flex is like the newest one that's in the top three right here, right? It's in second place. So it launched about 6 days ago. You can see right now like the volume in this it's at 10,000, right? It's in second place. And then you have this EV, which has been around for about 30 days. And this is right here. So it's basically 79,000 in 24-hour volume. So that one actually got just switched, right? So now we have a little bit of a battle here between Mill and Evie. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is really cool for a couple different reasons. Like the one reason is my brain's already trying to come up with strategies. Like it's like, all right, get in Mill and then get back in in Flywheel and get back in Mill the next day, and kind of doing that type of stuff. But then you have to worry about another newcomer coming in and taking that spot too. So it's like, it's really cool because finally there's a project that actually got me thinking again, because I feel like it's been so boring, there hasn't been anything. So that's one thing really good. And the next thing is like, if you're somebody who can push tokens, I mean, you might see a war between like,
that's what I'm saying.
KOLs.
That's where I think that, like, right now the KOLs aren't here. You can tell.
Yeah.
This is basically only based off of
organic,
and maybe like, Trader Joe kind of trying to push a little bit some of this stuff, but like the KOLs that pump fun and bonk and stuff, they're not here. Right? Maybe Trader Joe's gonna have to like hire some of them. I don't know what Pump Fun did, but at the end of the day, we definitely want to avoid only the coin deployers and KOL groups winning, right? It wants to be like, you got to let retail win for something to catch, right? So that's why I feel like this is early too. You know, you're early enough, but like, yeah, I mean, you actually right now you have a bit of a serious battle happening between Mill and Evie, right? I mean, if you look here, 92,000 in 24 hours, so that will carry over, and then you have Evie at 91,000 right now. Wow, this is actually really crazy what's happening right now. And so, yeah, so this is interesting. And this is $64,000 market cap. Like, that's still pretty dang early. You know,
tiny. These things are tiny, man. It's
I
crazy.
know they're very, very tiny. They're very tiny. So I don't know how this is gonna play out, but this is getting down to, like, you know, these two are battling. I didn't expect there to be a battle here. You know what I mean? Because this Evie had like 10,000 in volume like yesterday, I think, when I checked. So it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, well, you know, I'm hoping this works because it's a user give back. And that's what I think, like, you know, needs to happen, especially in Solana. Solana could be an example. They lost, you know, a lot of the market share to BNB. So support something like this in the Solana ecosystem that's giving back to users, right? Rather than only coin deployers. Because you know, users, without users, you can't have coin deployers.
Yeah, 100%. Well, love this, man. Thanks for doing your due diligence. This is really cool. Definitely keep us posted on that too. I'm gonna see. I want to keep checking it now. I might actually get into. I don't know. I like Eevee because it's a Pokemon, but I don't know. I don't know. It's really cool though. All right. Any last words on that? Anything that you'll be keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping an eye on it. I'm playing around over here just to be transparent, to see, you know, it's getting kind of crazy because you know, this type of volume battle too can really push that up to 150 so quick too. So that's another aspect of it too. Again, this is something, if it works, I would love to see it in the Bitcoin ecosystem, whether it would be on like the Spark ecosystem, or maybe like, you know, something like Radfi or something. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye on this and other metas like this. So if there's anything else that gives users, you know, liquidity back, that is what I'm going to be paying attention to.
100%. And that'd be cool if like UTXO.fund that did something like that, because that could separate them from Luminex and Magic Eden. For sure. All right. BTC 4-year cycle might now be over now. So take a look at this chart here. Let me bring it up. So obviously, you know, these 14 bars are like months, right? So it's 14, 14, and 17 is kind of like the bear market / the next build up. Same thing here, 18, 14, and 15. You had your bull run, you had your bear market, then you had your build up for the next cycle, and then you had 18, 14, and 15 again. So basically, you know, we are seeing similarities between these three. And now we're seeing this right here. This right here is basically over. We've hit the back end of this bull run here. So one, we're either going to be continuing to break out and having something different for the first time ever, or this is over. This is the top. Which one of the two options do you think this is? Is this the top? Have we hit the wall here and are going to be doing this next? Or do you think that potentially the 4-year cycle is now broken? This is now broken.
Well, I mean, I think we're both in the camp that the 4-year cycle is probably going to be either look very different or not really exist the same way, you know? And so I guess those are the same thing, really different or not exist the same way. But you know, I guess we're considered at the edge of that 18 bars.
I mean, we're in, dude. We're busting out.
And is that by is that monthly chart?
It's
monthly chart. So basically we're at our limits. So I mean, but they did change. They said 14 bars the first time and then 18, 18, 18. So maybe it'll be 19 because like we have 2 months left, 3 months. So maybe we'll have it extend out a little bit here. But yeah, so we're gonna be expecting that red part or just an extension of that green part for a long time, right? Or a decent amount of time. That's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. I don't know, man. What you're asking me right now is kind of like how I felt about this year. And this cycle is kind of, you know, it's been very hard to forecast and speculate on after I would say the spring, you know, because we didn't get any true rise up in alts in the spring. and you at least got some sort of energy kind of rise up in the previous bull market year for the springtime. You obviously get the more blast off towards the end. 2021 is a little different, it's almost even, but we didn't get anything. So it's really hard to forecast what this is going to look like. First of all, I feel a little bit more clear on the end of this year, but even that's starting to look weird. But 2026 is going to be very no man's land in terms of where we're going. Like I don't know. I have no idea. Probably expect something that's not what we expected previous cycles for the post bull market year.
Yeah, no, I get it. So let's just say this is right, and we are at the back end, and it's over. 14 months from now, we're sitting at, I don't know, $60,000. Is crypto basically done? Or like, is it just, you know what I mean? Like, are we done?
It's
here?
not done. It's not done because
you're gonna wipe out half of the users that have already been half wiped out.
Yeah, but that's where institutions aren't leaving though. So we could have something very kind of similar to like TradFi, because if you look at TradFi, right, and you even your friends that like if you think back like 10 years ago, the friends that were into stocks and stuff, I would say, it was a good percentage that were somewhat educated on it. They knew about it. Maybe they traded, just bought and held like the top stocks, those type of things. No, I didn't have any that were like day traders really that had any success or anything like that. And I say this because I think TradFi was kind of like in its own group of people. It was like very exclusive. If you knew about it, like if you were like actually making like tons of money day trading or swing trading, that was a very exclusive group. And society wasn't really a part of that, only through their 401ks, or maybe they had an E-Trade account and they just kind of were like, they felt like they were smart, and maybe, they grew their accounts being in the easy stuff like S&P and top stocks. And maybe that's what, the institutions are trying to do with our space. Luckily, we're educated enough so the people that got in, we know how it works. But new people that are getting in, maybe they're trying to kind of have this gate kept to like new people. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, but like traders are traders. I'm not talking about traders. I'm talking about actual users of platforms, right? Users of crypto platforms,
DeFi,
have been wiped out. No, not even DeFi. Like the gaming protocols and like the crypto AI and people who actually use the shit on like a day-to-day basis, right? Like those people have been wiped out. Like there's not users. The users are down 50% across the board for every dApp. I don't care if it's DeFi. I don't care if it's this. Like every dApp in crypto has been just wiped out. There's no new projects because they can't find users. Like this would completely wipe. If this is the top, this would completely wipe out users. The only thing left will be gamblers. It would be the people who, take leverage, the people who play in the depths of pump fun, right? Like that's the only people that'll be left.
I think it would be a different type of user. It would be the users that would, in different companies would thrive. So like the courtyards, those type of companies will get more users. Polymarket will get more users. The stuff that users, because I do agree. Like first of all, the GameFi era, that was a part of like that forced thing that we talked about earlier in 2021, but there was liquidity there. So it was forced, but it worked for number go up. But the forced narratives didn't sustain because they were forced narratives, like the GameFi stuff. You know what I mean? The metaverse stuff. Yeah. That was forced because of money, because they were selling that picture to people, and there was money to be taken from people. Yeah. And so that's why those narratives didn't sustain users, because it didn't make sense. The users just weren't there. They weren't interested. Axiom Infinity was like one of the only ones that really thrived, and that died. Yeah. Right. So I think it's going to be stuff that's like legitimate foundational, like business principles that are bringing to Web3, like a courtyard, like the poly markets, where it's not, the first priority isn't number go up of a token, but it's user experience of our product. You know what I mean? And both of those did that. Like they both don't have a token yet. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so that's where I think users will start to come. And to be honest with you, that's how it should be. That's how you sustain an industry, is by creating the best experience for the user, and they're there for the experience, not just to make money right then and there.
But think about what blockchain creates, right? Blockchain creates a way to basically decentralize all the bullshit, right? You can take something like Fortnite, and basically you can own your assets. You can own basically everything that you've ever purchased. You can actually own it and trade it, right? We're not seeing development in that area because crypto is there's just no users, right? There's no people just don't care. But like that's the thing is like we have to get to a society where people care about that stuff. But we're not going to get there if we're going to be in a 14-month bear market again.
But what you just explained, that's not. You don't have to put a ton of effort into onboarding people like that. That happens organically and naturally, right? So, for example, if the creator of Fortnite, I forgot what their company's name is, but let's just say that they were like, "Hey, look, we're going to decentralize all of the weapons
They
and
would
stuff."
lose money. They're not going to.
That's what I'm trying. That's
You
what
need
I'm
to be a
trying to tell you.
competitor.
So that's what I'm trying to say, though. That's how everybody would onboard easily. You know what I mean? If they decided to do that, and so that it goes back to the early 2000s whenever we pretty much tried to decentralize music, but the artists and the record labels were like, no way, we're gonna lose too much money. So this actually has been attempted before, and in Napster it's just a different, it's not money or digital assets. It was music files, right, and video media files, and that got pushed back with Napster, LimeWire, all those BearShare and all that stuff, right? But it came to a situation to where like file sharing and MP3s were just so much easier and popular, that like Spotify came up with this agreement with the artists, which they still lost money compared to selling their individual records and stuff like that, because they knew where the future was headed, to where that's what they settled on with the decentralization. Was like, okay, Spotify will earn the money, we'll get a cut of that instead of everybody getting our free music. You know what I mean? So now we're trying to do that with like the money industry that's related to every other industry we're trying to bring in and decentralize, right? So like gaming, the gaming companies hate that because they lose their percentage. It would be smart if they actually just created the platform so they can earn fees off of it. That's what the gaming companies should do, Epic Gaming and all them. But that's probably for Sony and all them. And then so I think that's how it could work, is like Sony, Microsoft, like Xbox and all that stuff. They become the Spotify's, and then out of their fees that they do from platforms, they cut to the game creators and stuff. But like, I don't know if there'll be enough money for that, right? I mean, you still have to buy the weapons too, and they could do these mints, by the way. The gaming companies could do the live mints and charge per weapon. So there's ways for these companies to still make money, but to them, I think it's like, why do we have to do all this extra work when we're making billions of dollars right now, right?
True.
But if they don't come on board, I think that they're going to be in a weird situation to where they might get pushed, like from institutional
there's no
level.
incentive. So the incentive would be a crypto company coming and challenging them, and people saying, okay, that's the better way to do it. But if we don't, but my whole point was, if we don't get users, we don't get number go up, we don't get a system, an area of growth from crypto, there's going to be no builders who even want to even challenge to build that.
It would have to be
anything competition.
It would have to be a Trojan horse. It would have to be a company that comes out as gaming first, and maybe backed by BlackRock or one of these like people that's heavily into Web3, and they're very talented game builders. They come in gaming first, they build the game, and then they onboard them. They mentioned that they're going to do it that way. That's how I think that whoever wins can win against the current gaming situation.
But still, though, if we get a 14-month bear market, there is going to be none of that. It's going to be just.
I don't think so.
Crypto, if we get a 14-month bear market, crypto's dead, in my opinion. It would just be the rails. The actual making money here is going to be gone.
But it would also be the institutions that are investing in companies that they can control the narrative for. They can make sure that they're successful.
They want to make money, so why would they even want that to happen? They want centralized.
Because it's for them, it's not about the quick flip. You're talking about these huge fund managers and investors. For them, it's like, okay, bear market for 14 months. Let's build a company that can build some amazing games, and then we can kind of just put the Web3 rails into the game. It doesn't have to be super in their face. It can be like what's it called? What's that one where you sign up with Google and stuff? You know what I'm talking about? It starts with a P. The company that makes onboarding easier. You don't have to sign up for a wallet. You can have a Gmail account.
Oh, Prism.
Privy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So you just put Privy in it or something like that to make it easy.
Yeah.
So they don't care because they're already here. Like institutions are already here. They're not going away. So for them, it's like if it takes 2 years for them to make profit on their investment and they can control that part of our market, they'll do that all day. If they can dominate,
but still, they're just taking our rails. There's no investment here. That's just that you're basically investing in a Web2 company on crypto rails. That's not spicy for us.
But it's not spicy for us. But
you're basically saying it's dead over here. Like there's no coming back because they're basically gonna. This is exactly what you're saying. They're basically gonna just take our rails and put stuff out. There's no reason to even invest in crypto.
Well, no, I'm saying that's what they're going to do anyways. And so whether it's thriving for that time of the market or not, they're working on that right now as we speak, is my opinion. So they're going to be building that anyway. So they'll at least have that, is what I'm saying. That will be, so that means that the big companies and stuff will be making money and like the little everyday people, probably will be sad.
If 14 months we're done. So if we have a 14 months, I don't even know where we went all this. We'll just move along. The Bitcoin OG keeps adding to his shorts. So there's some guy, man, and he is just loading up right now on shorts. He's a Bitcoin OG. He's one of the guys who moved Bitcoin from and then bought the ETH. He's just loading up on shorts right now, and everyone's scared shitless because you've seen this firsthand on Hyperliquid. Is this concerning to you? He's now exceeded 1.1 billion in shorts, and that could be why we're dumping right now down to 119.
I mean, it concerns me for Bitcoin and ETH. One thing that I'm going to be watching though is these altcoins that have kind of held up against the pullback of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And see, maybe there's going to be a flow into some of these other coins that, because like if you look at the crypto bubbles right now that I'm looking at, okay, so that actually just switched to more red. I mean, of course, it doesn't feel good if you see this guy that's putting in that much and of a pullback, this doesn't feel good.
Trade. He won. I mean, he was right. Yes, his P&L was, as of this morning, was 788. It's probably now like.
Did he close?
No, he's still open. 12x short.
I mean, Ethereum looks beat down right now. I think it's like 4,100.
Oh man. All right. Let's get to some good news stuff. Gold sets the stage for Bitcoin. So if you do not, gold's been on a run, and Bitcoin usually follows gold, right? But right now, we are we're getting beaten down right now. But if we're going to come back down, and potentially we did rise up to fake it out up at 126, and now we're back down here. Do you see Bitcoin following gold here, or is this just potentially just done?
I mean, I gotta say, I think it does eventually follow gold. I don't know what this pullback today is about, but we've seen Bitcoin move aggressively both ways, right? So in a 4-day period, it jumped up $12,000. So that can definitely happen, right? So I have no reason to think that it's all of a sudden just going to stop following gold.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the chart looks very similar. I mean, almost insanely similar. So this is last cycle, and then now it's just been up only. It did its breakout about 2 months ago. Bitcoin has yet to really break out. Well, we're about 90 days behind it. So in the next 30 days, we should start seeing some upward movement. And if that's the case, we should be at, potentially 360,000 if we continue to follow this. So I guess that's some good news there. I don't even know, man. These markets, it's hard to do a show and just look.
Right, well, I mean, just think that we're early for this quarter. That's what I'll say. Just think that we're early.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. We're just early, and we had a little bit of life early on in October, but we still have the rest of this month and then November and December to work with. So
yeah, I don't know, man. Q4 is looking bleak. It's just there's nothing to look forward to. It's just like, ugh. But anyway, online predictions market platform Kalshi has raised over 300 million in a funding round, valuing the company at 5 billion. Kalshi plans to expand its services to customers in more than 140 cities. So Kalshi is basically it's like Coinbase. There's a couple other ones in here. It's Coinbase, A116Z, Sequina, Paradigm, and Capital G. So they raised money after, this is like 2 days after, the NYSE guy, he basically put 2 billion into Polymarket. So prediction markets seem to be the new DraftKings, dude. Like this was happening last cycle to DraftKings and FanDuel.
Well, I think it's bigger. I think it's bigger because there's different aspects of it, and it seems like some of the names that I'm seeing that are interested in these are like Sequoia. They're pretty big. Like they do a lot of TradFi stuff too, right? So
that is Sequoia. You're right. What did I say? Sequoia?
Sequoia.
Sequoia. Her and her friends. No.
Yeah, but Sequoia is a big name, right? In terms of the investing circles, right? So Kalshi though, man, wow, they came out of left field, right? And they're hitting home runs right now. And what chain do they use? Do you know? That's interesting.
They're American based. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe they use Base or something, but look, it's a two-headed kind of monster battle right now between Kalshi and Polymarket. And I expect them to have more and more users be onboarded to them. It's going to be interesting. I think when you start to hear people in like corporate settings just work at their office and say like, man, I took this bet on Kalshi last night, or the election's coming up. Like, let's do a pool, office pool. Remember those? But except for now, you can do them on Kalshi or Polymarket. Yeah. You know what I mean? That could be like a lotto situation, right? Like, 100%. And it makes it fun for that environment. So.
And everyone can check it on their phone. They can sign in, like join the invite link. And then, because I've done something with one job I worked with. We did like American Idol, where everyone just got like a person or something like that, right? But you could do that. That could be a thing in the future, right? So it's just like, I don't know.
Could you do the football squares? You could do that or something like that, right? Like the quarters and scores and stuff in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yep. Or like, let's just say you don't want to do that. You just want to like do with people. You can, hey, I pick 4 and 14 for Q4 of the game, right? Like, so I don't know.
They could do something crazy creative with a March Madness and stuff like that as well.
100%, dude. It'd get really fun. So there's a new thing called Base Streams. It's a live streaming platform built on Hyperliquid. Nothing to do with Base Chain, and backed by Ethena Labs, officially launched today. Users can host real-time trading streams, interact with viewers, and showcase on-chain actions. Utilizing Hypercore protocol, viewers can directly tip streamers with Hypercore tokens and earn base gold. So it's basically it's on the the Hyperliquid blockchain. It's it's a dApp over there, but you basically stream, and Hyperliquid people over there can pick up the stream and actually live trade with you if they wanted to. They can. It will show all your trades and everything. This is something pretty crazy. I didn't even see this coming, but Base Streams is live on Hyperliquid. It's something maybe I might watch, like, and kind of see, right? Like, that seems really cool. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some people on YouTube that make a lot of money from this if it takes off. There's some talented people on YouTube that can chart. Charting is a very, I think you have to be really passionate about it. But the ones that are, it doesn't mean that they always make money and stuff like that. But like just recognizing pattern recognition, knowing the strongest indicators that have the best track records, and all those things. It's a lot that they go into, and some people, like Crypto Lifer, he's on YouTube. I think he would probably thrive. He thrives on YouTube. There's a guy named Mitch. I forgot his last name, but he's from Alabama. That guy, he's passionate about it, but both of them are passionate about it. I think they would thrive in those situations. So that's awesome that there's another kind of outlet there for chartists.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Let's kind of get into the crypto fear and greed here. Let me bring up the banner. All right. So it's telling lies here because there's no way we're still neutral. We gotta be bearish. But last week 57, yesterday 58. I mean, we're a little bit further down from last week 57. Where do you think we're at?
54.
Boom, got it. All right, the noggin. I feel like 30. Like this is the first time I'm dead honest with you right now. Like I feel I'm bearish right now. Like I really am. It's just there's no I don't see anything to be positive about in the market besides the thing you were showing earlier, because that's pretty cool. But like I don't see any reason to be positive right now. Like Q4 rate cuts, it's all just it's taking its toll on me for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna be transparent here. I'm not worried about this. I'm personally not. And I know that, a lot of times I do try to just, bring like positive perspective. I feel like Bitcoin is just kind of ranging right now. It's ranging back and forth. I just don't feel like we're in the part of the year that we're gonna see a doom and gloom blade down to 100K. It's not realistic to me right now. Maybe if we get to 110, over the weekend or something, then I'm gonna be like, what the heck? Like something's real weird. There's being heavy manipulation happening, like to point to like they want it to us to not have a bull run this last quarter. But I'm not worried because I think there's gonna be, when we get into the holiday season, it's hard for markets to not like do decent, even non-bull run years, So I feel like we're gonna have a holiday season, and it will, at the very least, we'll have like this burst of energy. I feel like I'm feeling extremely confident that Bitcoin hits a new all-time high for sure by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually, I wouldn't surprise when we dropped below 100 right now. Like honestly, going into November, December, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it right now.
So are you calling right now that it doesn't hit an all-time high before the end of the year?
I'm feeling that way. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to rebound, and maybe we start pulling back up in March and April and May. Maybe it's the opposite of that. Maybe we have to wait for a new Fed chairman to come in and actually cut rates drastically. I just don't see any liquidity in the markets.
Yeah, I see a little bit of why you're feeling down today, but I think that would shock me severely. So I'm very confident that Bitcoin's going to hit all-time high.
This entire year has shocked me severely.
I mean,
it's one of the things where seeing that chart hitting the wall there, and everyone's saying, "Well, the top is in," and then we double topped. We hit 124, and then came back down and hit 126. Very similar to what we did last cycle, right? At when we hit 69 and then came back, or hit 64, came back down, and then a couple of months later we hit 69. So I don't know. I don't know, dude. Like it's one of those things where it just wouldn't surprise me right now, but. But maybe it's good that it's not won't surprise me. Maybe I need to be surprised and Bitcoin's sitting at 128 next week, and we all forgot about this week. But
that's how it works.
Yeah, for sure. But let's kind of see what is happening in the charts. Let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura. Artura.finance. If you are going to be trading leverage, I highly recommend Artura because you can kind of potentially get on their leaderboard. They're going to be giving away $5,000 to first place, and then $5,000 second, third, and fourth place cumulative. You'll get a piece of that. So definitely want to check out the competition board there and use Artura.finance. I mean, these guys are going to be on other chains, right? But right now they're on Botonix, and Botonix is doing the biggest Bitcoin airdrop ever. So if you want to be a part of that Bitcoin airdrop, you can use something like Artura, and you can head over to 2100 A Bitcoin World as well and kind of do some other stuff here. But I highly recommend Artura.finance.
Absolutely. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out here on the YouTube side. Smash that like and subscribe to the channel on the X side. Let's get as many people in the space as possible on board and educate as many people as possible. And same thing with Abstract. Share that link for us and Twitch, Kick, and Rumble as well. Don't forget Spotify. What's up?
Real quick, I figured out what happened.
What happened?
Markets stripped. Breaking news: Trump rips China for great trade hostility. Threatens new tariffs in response. Could go up to 200%.
Wow. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But tariff talk typically does calm down. But today it's definitely brought a lot of the energy to the downside. But let's take a look here at some Bitcoin price action. starting with the hour chart, obviously that trade news, that tariff news was not good. You can see it wicked Bitcoin down to 118,500. Seems like it wants to kind of retrace here, but as you know, whenever a bleed out happens, you always, me personally, I started to, not, I haven't always thought this way, but to kind of let it find its footing before you make any type of decisions. And so, yeah, so as you can see, we did start that sell pressure here on the hour chart. You see Bitcoin on the MACD really just kind of that fast line pointing almost straight down, right? So that is not a good sign. Let's see where it kind of, like I said, finds its footing is going to be a very important thing. The stochastics looks like it wants to go straight down as well. And so that is what is happening on the hour chart, right? It is Friday, and Fridays, you know, I don't know, man. If it starts extremely bearish with that headline, I probably would not expect a bounce back necessarily in the second half of the day heading into the weekend. But it's going to be important to see where it does find its footing. And then tomorrow we'll kind of play that Saturday like a typical Saturday where it's going to probably be a choppy day back and forth. And then Sunday is going to be very interesting because Sunday could be an opportunity. So maybe that person that was taking those positions in Hyperliquid, you know, they're getting aggressive because of that comment from the, you know, President Trump there. All right, let's take a look here at the 4 hour. The 4 hour obviously just kind of reversed here. It looked like it wanted to get out of the sell pressure, but it has continued. So very similar situation, you know, kind of let it bleed out if it's going to continually bleed and find that floor of where that support will come in and kind of prop Bitcoin up. But definitely don't want to jump the gun on a day like this. That is for sure. So that's the 4 hour, but the daily here. Now, if this does bleed out really hard, we could completely close this buy pressure out, right? And this is going to look very different, right? Because I talked yesterday about, look, if we get down to this area of previous really resistance is what it was, right? And if we get down there, and that's going to be like a whole nother ball game, right? Because now we're talking about being about 116. With this bad news, do we break below that? If we do we kind of try to go to this next level of support at the 108,757? That's where I would be kind of worried. But because it is kind of this like Twitter or whatever kind of tariff situation, I'm expecting it to find its footing probably not too much longer after this, and then we'll kind of get over that, in my opinion, unless it's like, you know, really intense to where it's going back and forth and it just seems like we're just going to continually get further away from agreeing on trade. That could be really bad, but that is something I'm looking out for. But I am expecting for it to catch its footing, you know, probably in the later half of today. So one thing I did want to pull up though, because I do think that that's you know, that's obviously like a fundamental analysis headline with the trade, and those kind of calm down, right? And we get over the shock and all of that. So if I pull up the weekly chart, the weekly chart actually is a decent setup, right? So if we can kind of get over that, we find our footing. Let's say we find our footing at 118.5, maybe 118. You know, we're further down in this area right here. And then we start to kind of work our way back Sunday evening, then this weekly chart could start to look kind of okay. As of right now, if we buy into this like as like our sector, our market heavily, and it goes into like really like aggressive sell mode to where I said it hits that next support level at 108, then this will break back open. I'm almost certain to this will break back open. We'll probably see some sell, you know, to end the week, right? If that happens. And then so next week would be interesting to see how we assess that, right? But if we do find our footing and it's something like we kind of chill out at the 118.5 area, and then we kind of pick back up on Sunday, we could try to get out of this early next week. But I like the fact that we've been in sell pressure for a bit on the weekly chart. I do like that. And if you go to because that means to me that, like, you know, eventually if we rebound from this, like I said, you know, we don't take it too seriously, and we come out, it seems like maybe like to start next week, we have a more positive price action, then the monthly chart will open back up to buy pressure and then we can kind of continue on. But yeah, so that's very interesting. I'm glad you told me that because it explains a lot. So that's Bitcoin. I think like if you look at the weekly and you look at the monthly, we still have that hope there. Also, how we handle today is going to be very important. All right, so looking at the total to ES, which is everything besides Bitcoin and stablecoin, so basically the alt market, it is, you know, following today situation, right? You see a little bit of red right here on the MACD, a lot of red over here on the daily chart. But obviously, this is going to be dependent on, you know, Bitcoin and how we handle the news today, right? But I will say some of these alts that have been thriving lately, they've been holding pretty strong. You know, you see stuff like Merlin, which is still around 34 cents. Hyperliquid, I think, looked okay for earlier today. There's some interesting ones that are coming in here. We'll go over those, but like that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. This hasn't gone into like a deep like sell pressure just yet. So we'll see how the entire market reacts to today's news and see if we can carry on. Looking at the crypto bubbles, though, most of everything is red. If you're looking, you know, between 3 and 6% on average. The stuff that's sticking out is obviously Tao's up 16%, Litecoin up almost 8%, which is weird. Near Protocol 8%. You got ZEC up 17.3%. CoAI about 18%. Willfi taking a hit about 17%. Aster pulling back about 6% there. Hyperliquid about even, down 0.08%. BNB down 1.6%. And so, like I said, most of the market is on average between 3 and 6% with a pullback. Zora, huge pull up. Must have some big news there, up 46%. And you see, yeah, Dash Coin here up 38.1%. And you got some of the ones that pulled back pretty aggressively. Useless, I kind of expected that because it was running. It got to $400 million market cap. Now it's at 16.8% pullback at $312 million market cap. You got Falcon Finance pulling back 13.3% as well. So definitely looking, you know, like the market's starting to feel this peel back today. And you can already see Bitcoin's at 118,900 now, right? 118,900. So it's going to be important to see where this kind of calms down. But that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the alt market for you guys.
Yep. My bad. Let me fix this. All right. Let's jump into the next thing here, which is the roll call. Roll call is not, yeah. So me, I did the first call. I was just a little off today, but we got this. All right, jump back into it now. Okay, so take the first comment of the day. We put it on a spreadsheet today. That winner is the amazing Webdro. Congratulations to you, my friend. You have won your 49th win of the year. Congratulations to you, man. You are officially in first place with Lackey Lukey at 48. So congratulations to you. Officially taken first place to finish the week, too. Oh, what a win for Webdro. Congratulations to you, my friend. All right, let's jump with the rest of the roll call here. We got Webdro again. And then we have Merlin's Lucky, my guy. Says TK and Merle. Yeah, shout out to Trench Kitty. It's been a while since we mentioned him. Webdro going for Ribbit. Should be 10K by the end of the year. I hope so. I mean, it's not even, it's like 600. So that's a nice 15x for them frogs. That'd be pretty cool to see. OnePlus ad is here. Raresat's down, my guy. He said DCA in and DCA out. Is he DCAing out right now? Is that kind of what he's saying? Is he planning for the end here? ASAP Benji is here. Lackey Lukey says GM, congrats. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Abstract, Chips and Dip. K99, my guy. Vader times of this market sucks. I agree with you, my friend. Guys, it's for Q4. And then Spindrift says, when? Q1. Q4 is dead. Damn. Okay. Chief Axel is here. Cheaty is here. Hydro Sapien, my guy. Trait is here. He says, dog. Stan said, in Channel's opinion, it's more difficult to find a winner now than in the past. Yes, 100%. If so, will retailers jump a ship to easier money like OpenAI Soros so they can sit home while getting UBI, universal basic income? I
don't know if we're there yet. I feel like UBI is like probably, I mean, I think the soonest we'll see something like that is 10 years. But if we're in UBI, you got to start right now, start thinking about how you're going to make money, because Yeah, obviously there's gonna be opportunities for people to make extra money, but I don't even want to think about that. That freaks me out, man. But one thing I was telling Shizzy about was, my wife's friends and other people that are completely not in crypto or Web3. They've been asking, like, how can they learn about it? How can they get involved with it? So yes, I think it's more difficult to find a winner, like specifically for people that are experienced in this space, right? And that's weird. It's almost backwards, right? But there are a lot of people that are interested. So I feel like what's happening is the rest of society is hearing from, like, I don't know, people that know about money, and maybe, like, people in their company and stuff, saying like, hey, like, BlackRock's getting involved, all these, like, it's happening, it's getting integrated in society. That's getting them excited about wanting to learn about crypto and how it works and how they can find an opportunity. But little do they know that it's not easy to find one right now. But so there's interest, but we'll see how those people get onboarded. Obviously, it's through, like, those level 1 shows, kind of getting people, like, the very, very basics of education and stuff. So I do think that it is harder to find a winner right now, but I think there's people that are interested in coming in. They just want to figure it out. They want to figure out how they can take that first step. So liquidity is the problem right now. I'll tell you that straight up. Liquidity is the problem. The parts of our space that has the most liquidity are institutions, and they're not going to put that liquidity in risky stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem though is Binance, in my opinion, right? Binance with the just giving winter mute every day, right? So it's almost like CZ just, like, maybe is selling down maybe all his crypto. Should we have learned from that? Like, over the last 6 months, they've just been dumping every chance they get, every pop. They've been sending more and more to winter mute. Should we be like should that have been a sign?
Well, it's hard because Binance wants, like, their coin has been thriving. You know what I mean?
Well,
so it's kind of
they're not selling their coin down.
But that's what I'm saying. So was that a strategy for that, though? You know what I mean? To say, okay, like, pick us because we're thriving while these other coins are going down. So I think this administration that came in, they're more friendly to the digital asset space. They've made the regulators more friendly, but it's almost kind of like it's given the players that have been in our space more, like, confidence to kind of maybe even, like, manipulate a little bit. Not saying that they did that or whatever, but there's obviously some stuff that's happened. And it's giving them more confidence because they feel like they won't get in trouble as much, right? It's almost kind of like that. So I think the clarity needs to come in. See, it's weird. Why can't we just get a balance? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the last administration went way too hard and way too far, and then now this current regulator regulate the SEC and stuff. Their approach is too lax, but I think it's because the framework's not out there yet. They need to put that out there, and they need to be a true cop on the beat, like Gigi said last in 2022 and 2023. Like, do your job. Basically, just do your job.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, right, the last administration pulled the pendulum so far this way that it almost has to swing all the way that way, right? And then in the next administration, whether that's JD or Newsom, needs to kind of make sure that's kind of like centered, right? Because they're the two projected to win the next election, with what's his name, the Rubio being in third place there. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where whether the next one might be where we need to be, right? The next administration, but you can't pull it back. I mean, we had the anti-crypto army created by a senator, right? I mean, straight up, like, she wasn't hiding. I mean, she called it the anti-crypto army, right? And now we have a president who says, "Hey, I'm tokenizing all my real estate." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. The pendulum has swung.
Yeah, it went from one end to the other, and
it really did.
We need balance. Maybe that's probably a big part of what we're going through. We get punished
the thing
for
is,
it.
too, is like a lot of the big donors to the Democratic Party, they're probably anti-crypto now. So, and they're they're big money, right? Because of this administration so pro crypto. So it's almost like we're on the wrong side of hate for no reason, being in crypto, because of the one side is so
Well,
Pro
I think
crypto.
but I think that side is also changing a bit to where, it's kind of like,
Hopefully.
yeah, that's the hope for at least, like, if you're going to use this cycle or this cycle to do that, then at least do it to where, it's balanced on both sides of power.
100%. Stan says Tesla Optimus.
Oh, the new model that's cheaper, supposedly.
Really? That sounds pretty cool. Since holidays are incoming, shorting everything. Well, see, you would be wrong if you were shorted for the holidays the last 4 years.
2 years,
right?
yeah.
Like even like when FTX crashed, I mean, we had a big pull up after it hit bottom.
I can't
right?
remember
So,
the holidays that was like horrible. Can you? I can't
let's take it
remember
back.
when that
2020 was absolutely amazing. I remember, Bitcoin went from 13 to 21 during Christmas, and then Antichrist went to like 35. 2021, yeah, Bitcoin was just sideways all of December. 2022, Bitcoin was
Hold on.
back up.
So November, December, let's count those two, okay? Because that's the holidays. So in 2021, Bitcoin peaked November 1st. I guess we can count that. But it started going down starting then. But
it was more sideways though, wasn't it? It was sideways and down, but like it was more sideways and down.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the monthly chart. So it's gonna look it's gonna, like, each candle, I can't really, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, by the end of that month though, it definitely was sideways and down. You're right. But so you did experience like at least like euphoria because it led up to that. And if you cashed out, then you had like Christmas money and all that stuff, right? So that was 2021. And then you go back to the previous so every in 2020 it was really good. It was rising up to that peak because it peaked twice. So then in 2020 was good, and then you go back to 2019. So 2019 was a little bit weird, but it still was on the up and up. I mean, it was kind of going down a little bit, but it was going down from a peak. So yeah, I can't like find a holiday season tour is god awful atrocious. Is basically what our point is here.
Yeah. So hopefully not. Stan says, can LTC rise like Zcash with their tokenomics of Wimble, right? Privacy settings. I don't know. That's gonna be why Litecoin is up today. Privacy is like running right
popular
now.
right now. Yeah.
We're just waiting on the money printer. Unfortunately, some people can't wait and they'd rather play PvP amongst themselves. Yeah. I mean, I think myself hit it on the nail on the head there, dude. Like, it's
that's
just
not fair. I mean, he's right. He's right, but I feel like that's not fair. The part where he said some people can't wait, because I feel like there's been some like people that have decent patience that like finally broke, and then they try to force the narrative. So I mean, I agree with you myself, but I feel like it wasn't just a bunch of like not disciplined people that broke into this PvE type of environment. It was people that have been like, waiting for years for this year, and then trying to force the hand eventually, right? So
100%. I'm about to say a word that might bring somebody might bring the legendary rare sats in. So when you say rare sats, he appears. Let's see if he appears. But myself says I'm still accumulating rare sats, low inscription ordinals, runes. While everyone is scared, I'll wait another 4 years. I don't care. He says I've been here for over a decade. I hope I put the emotion in that for you.
No, that was good.
Token Jokin says, I'm so ready for 68 Bitcoin. I mean, it can't go any lower than that, right? I mean, myself says my forever mission is to stack more privacy coins. Honestly, I might put some tinfoil on my head to the woods and buy some privacy coins as well. Glass Hopper 7 stacking Tal. I think Tal is going to be astronomical next cycle. I really do. I think it's going to be like 60, 70K. I think people are going to start understanding, oh, wow, I don't need to go to a data center. I can just run a... Oh!
There he is. There he is.
You say his name and he appears. Shout to you, man. Joking.
It's like the Halloween stories, right? Or like, what was it? Candyman or whatever, and all those movies. But glad to see it works, dude. That dude is constantly watching. Hey, we appreciate your dedication.
I know what he does. He probably has an earpiece in, and then he just kind of walks away, does his work, right, and then he hears it and runs. I used to do the same shit. Runs back over to his phone, puts a message in. Dude, that was me. That was me last cycle, 100%. And then WebJo says, rare sats. Shout out to WebJo. Shout out to all you guys who make the roll call each and every day, guys. You're the reason why we're continuing the show at this point, guys. It's you guys are awesome. We love you guys. It's absolutely amazing. You guys show up each and every day to watch us yell at each other. Appreciate you guys. It's awesome. All right, let's head into some more topics here. All right, where should we start? Okay, this is interesting. I would love your opinion on it. I sent you over the tweet from CZ earlier, but let's dig right in because I feel like, and you might not feel that way. It could be just me the way I read it. But CZ, he had this tweet, and it's come off someone else's tweet with a picture of Jeff from Hyperliquid, and CZ goes, gossip tweet. Saw a couple of posts on this topic. If you don't know, Jeff HL was a part of YZiLabs, Binance Labs back then, incubation season 1 cohort in 2018. Unfortunately, that project failed. YZiLabs did not recoup any of its investment. It happens. I mean, first off, that's like I'll get your opinion on that in a second, but that's wild. I did not interact with Jeff much back then. He said basically I didn't know the guy. I forgot about it. I only learned this from Ella earlier in the year. I was supposed to have a call with Jeff a few months back, but I missed it due to my schedule error on my part and never had a chance to reschedule it. I didn't care. I didn't give a shit, and I didn't call back. YZiLabs, to the best of my knowledge, was not given and does not own any investment in Hyperliquid equity or anything. Regardless, we support builders. And then he did have another comment. He said, schedule error equals a set alarm wrong and overslept. Shame on me. I mean, or it wasn't important enough for you to set your alarm and you just didn't give a shit because you didn't believe in it. You didn't believe in what he was building because he failed once. But I would love your opinion on this. Was this needed? Is my first question. And two, what's like, how do you feel about it?
There's many things I want to hit on this. And the first part is, you say this a lot. You say, I like to look at builders that have failed in the past.
Yes.
This is a great example of that, right? I think failing in Web3 early on is going to be, I mean, you go back to 2018. That's before DeFi, right? So that's going to be really hard to succeed during that. He's probably focused on like centralized aspects of things and stuff like that. And then you go into the tweet itself. So, but real quick, that does, like, if you failed a project and you're still here and you keep building and stuff like that, I'm bullish on at least your potential. Okay, now going into the tweet here, it seems like there's a little bit of bitterness because he was in this cohort in 2018, and then fast forward 7 years, which is a long time. He has humongous success, like success to the point to where he benefited from that in 2018.
Yes,
right. He learned, and I think there was probably this feeling of like, we invested in him back then to like, build something. It didn't work. And now, like, we don't get to see any of the benefits from this. You know what I mean? But that's how investing in someone or a project can work, right? There's no like lifelong guarantee that like, hey, if I fail this project and I start another business or another project, you can get a percentage of that. That's just not how it works, right? And so that's now it kind of seems like it's making more sense to me. And the whole part of like, I didn't even know who he was last year. In my mind, I was like, he probably found out because one of his employees told him this year that, about the history is exactly what it was. And then definitely the I missed the meeting and I overslept type of things. Those are jabs, in my opinion. Right. But if I was Jeff, I would just continue doing what I'm doing and focusing on Hyperliquid success and not getting into this mix. Because why would you want to risk anything at this point? You're set for life pretty much. You know what I mean? And you still, in my opinion, I mean, you're still like over time, you're the most successful on-chain perps DEX. Aster could change that, but seems like a lot of Aster is definitely forced.
100%. Yeah, I agree with everything you said, 100%. So I think CZ is a definition of something Two-Face in Batman said. He said, you can die a hero or you can live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I think CZ is having his villain arc right now. Do you agree with that? Like, I just feel like this tweet is like, this is a shot. This is shots fired.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. Because, he seemed to always have like this, cool and calm demeanor about him. And now he just seems to be wanting to be in this. It's like he wants to be in the spotlight. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like he wants the attention. And I've heard of that happening to people that have become successful and their personalities were like very humble and stuff like that to start with. And then money changes people. Obviously, he's had money for a while. But he's also gone through some other weird stuff too, right? Like his battles last cycle, I don't think he could be this brash about them. And he's not also he's not being like straight up like idiotic with like his tweets and stuff like that. I'm not saying like he's being like overly aggressive. I think Do Kwon got to a point like that last cycle, my personal opinion. But his battles last cycle were with SBF, but they were very passive aggressive and subtle, they were never out in the like blatant, like, oh, they have hard drama with each other. And then basically stuff happened behind the scenes to kind of get, SBF, collapse. And then I feel like there was a little bit of, back getting CZ back from whatever, Gensler's involvement was with that and made him, that's how they got the $4 billion trim. So I think he's been through a lot of ups and downs. And now he feels like, maybe he has some anger from all that, being in prison for like 6 months to however long he was there. I don't know. And paying $4 billion is a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and so maybe he just has this like big chip on his shoulder, but it's getting to a point to where like he's picking on like a guy that used to be like him, Jeff be like that, like humble type of person that's very not super outspoken, focused on what is in front of him. And it's interesting.
He seems like a good dude too, doesn't he? Doesn't he seem like a good dude?
I mean, everybody seems like a good dude until you really get to know them, right?
Not CZ. I mean Jeff. Like just hearing him talk and stuff like that.
That
he
too,
sounds
though.
like, that's probably true.
Yeah,
but
many people I think thought that about CZ too.
That's true too. But yeah, I think it's time for CZ to turn into a villain here. But you're right though. He's been tweeting a lot, and 2 hours ago he said Vitalik had a easy residence nights at home. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, he tweets a lot. But yeah, we'll move along from that. Won't beat that dead horse. 90% of the traders who bridged from Solana to BNB are now sitting in losses. 90%. That to me was a, hey guys, come over here, and then we're gonna just destroy you as you walk through the door. It seemed to me like a mafia hit almost.
Yeah, I experienced a little bit of it. I just wanted to see what was over there, and got over there a little bit late. A couple $100, not too bad. But like, I will say that there's a couple things. One, they're starting to do like extreme saturation of token creation. So we see what happens when that happens. By the way, like, it kills a lot of tokens having the opportunity to thrive. I don't think that was happening as much early last week. I think it was more of like, people forming communities and stuff over there. Secondly, it's not quick. You can get stuck in like your position. You can not sell and keep losing because of slippage or these different things. And I will say 100% Solana has the advantage on that. Like, that like I even saw I think Frank D Gods posted yesterday. He goes, selling on BNB is scary because like you get stuck. They don't have the same tool sets as like Axiom, and so he said some people were saying that stuff is being developed, and so once that happens, I think you'll feel much better. But trading with MetaMask and even Phantom Wallet, it's different. I mean, you feel like you can, even when you manually do it with the Phantom Wallet, I feel like, okay, if I do it like 2, maybe 3 times, I'm good. MetaMask, you can get stuck in trying like 10 times and you're just like, oh my God, like I can't, there's nothing. I mean, you could jack up the fee like really high, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've never experienced it, but I'm sure, like being somebody who's on Solana, I mean, Solana transactions fail, but you can get it in very quickly. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
found go. MetaMask, sometimes dude, you have to go mess with the Enoch, whatever it's called. You have to change you have to like
No,
cancel it.
yeah.
It's not as easy now that I think about it. But yeah. All right, let's go into some crypto stuff. I mean, some Bitcoin stuff here. So, second buyback and burn from sold NodeMonkeys completed. Total bought back and burned so far from NodeMonkeys is 2.1 million NODESTRs. So they're actually buying it back now for the first time. They did it last night. This was about 12 a.m. last night. They did a $5,000 purchase. They bought back NODESTR, but it doesn't seem like they're getting a lot of volume. I mean, if you go to Explore, NodeSTR sitting about 5 million. This chart doesn't move. Like, I don't know how long these blocks
4
are,
hour.
but like I mean, but still, like it doesn't seem like a lot of and it is very bearish times, right? So it's not like this thing's gonna move, but I just don't see a lot of volume. But do you think that's because of the 10% buy and sell amount? Do you think that's why they're not getting a lot of any more volume? I mean, they did it originally. But I think those days are over of this thing getting like $1 million daily volume. It's going to be like a big shot here, maybe like 10 buys and then one big sell. And so I just can't see this thing getting the volume for them to continuously buy back the token.
Yeah, I think there needs to be some, Bitcoin ecosystem whales that are going to be participating in these tokens specifically.
Yeah.
You're right, because the traders, they're the ones that want to flip within that day. Yeah, they're not going to do 10 in, 10 out,
No way.
It's just, which, does promote holding, but at the same time, it can promote like people taking losses too.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out because in Ethereum, you have big enough active whales over there to pump strategy, but also the strategy meta, has kind of calmed down a little bit. You went from a lot of it. Yeah, you're sitting at $130 million market cap for punk strategy, and again, this started
70% from the all-time high.
It started in September 6th, right? But like I mentioned before, it took till September 14th, so 8 days for it to go from 1 million to $30 million market cap, right? And then there was some sideways there, and then all of a sudden like this big rush up. So yeah, I don't know. Was it should they have launched this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was hot? Who knows? You can't go back in time. So
and then they're swapping the NodeMonkeys around. They're selling them now. So the NodeMonkeys floor has been kind of beat down a little bit because they're actually selling some of the NodeMonkeys they bought. And they're also saying that, hey, we're not going to be buying all NodeMonkeys off the floor anymore. We're going to be talking to NodeMonke whales about buying them so they don't disrupt the floor. How do you feel about that? That was never said before. That, hey, we're going to go talk to Raktoshi and say, hey, instead of you selling down your NodeMonkeys, why don't you sell them to us in a one-time buy, right? Because you're not going to know who that wallet belongs to, right? So it's kind of like, it's almost like this really only helps the NodeMonke whales kind of get out of their position without destroying the floor. Do you feel that way?
So is it a good time to buy the floor though? You know what I mean? Right now, is it a good time to?
It's down almost 4,000 from the weekly high.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like market sentiment. You know what I mean? So
no.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I think like a strategy, the word strategy means, like put together a plan, right? So
yeah,
I think this is more of a strategy for them to, and it didn't specifically say that they were only going to buy floor node monks in their on their website. But I think it's smart, honestly, this is personally, I think it's smart that they're not doing that right now. Because there's not a bunch of hype sentiment right now, and you don't want to like burn through what you've raised whenever it's slow, extremely slow. I think they're also focused on the token too. They want to make sure because they realize that these work, together, and so they want to make sure that the token is going to be at a healthy market cap. And again, some of that is going to be determined on the how the market goes overall. But Yeah, I think it's a weird place that we're in right now. If you look at the 24-hour volume, that's looking like 613,000 for node strategy. But as you mentioned earlier, that carries over depending on whenever that they start that time that they're tracking. So I imagine that's probably going to go down pretty quickly here soon, because as the hours go back and then they lose that volume from the beginning, we'll probably start to see low six-figure in volume. But if they can maintain around that would be big. But who comes in and who trades? Who's going to come in and who's going to be a part of this? That's the thing. ETH has their ETH active whales that have a lot of Ethereum that are in the punk community that made millions of dollars on punks, and they were just smart people, that held their ETH or whatever. So,
well, it's easy to do that too. If you have ETH and you're just like, hey, I like this punk strategy, it's cool. Let me just go to Uniswap, somewhere I've used a million of times, and swap for this. Here, it's like, okay, I have to go to Rad5 to figure this out. I have to deposit. Oh, wait, is it depositing? No, you're just going to another wallet. Okay, what is this wallet about? If this website goes down, how do I access my tokens? I can't. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's a lot of a lot of things can go wrong in between you buying and selling.
You can't access your tokens, can't you? Because you have access to that multi-sig wallet.
If the site goes down there, you don't have access to that wallet.
Are the runes not in the wallet?
The runes are in the wallet, but if the site goes down, if radfi.co goes down, I mean,
you'll see that you have the seed phrase for this wallet.
You don't,
right?
No.
I thought they give you the seed phrase.
So your wallet connects to there. You can confirm. You can sign with that wallet that's set up with it.
Gotcha. So I thought,
but you don't get no seed phrase for that wallet. No.
I thought that we did. I guess not. If not, yeah, then you're right.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of things, like it's kind of like very similar to Odin, right? Yeah, Odin, they custody your funds, right? It's very centralized. But at the same time, if Odin goes down, you can't access your funds. If Radfi goes down, you can't access those runes that are in there. And you can't even, and that's the thing too, you could only trade NodeSTR on Radfi. Like you can't withdraw it. You can't withdraw that to a Bitcoin wallet.
Well, for now. In the future, they might add that, because, like,
I'm just talking about the now, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like in future. Like, that's the thing too about future stuff. It's like everything's promised, nothing ever happens, right? So it's one of those things where I in the Bitcoin ecosystem, I can't even think about the future, because I've been lied to so many times, or it's just like we're building that. Are you?
I mean, I think about the future for that, because pizza ninjas are allocating 5% of their total supply to centralized exchanges. So you have to be able to withdraw that if that agreement between, them and 65% of the token being held here. Like, I imagine that Scott and his team are probably planning something for that. But you're right. What happens now is how we can use it right now, and how we can use it right now is through the multi-sig approach. But again, this is the best, I guess, situation that we have on layer one.
But that doesn't make it a good solution. My biggest thing with there is, it's easy for an ETH guy to put money in the Punkster, because it's it's very similar to what they've already done. It's a little bit difficult for a Bitcoiner to use
difficult,
Bitcoin,
because you just go there and you send the Bitcoin over and then you buy it.
Well, again, but then you have those trust factors, right? It's difficult in the sense, not just in the sense of buying it, but it's difficult in the sense of knowing that your funds will be safe. At least with Punkster, you just know, hey, if the chart dumps, whatever. This is like, well, I get access to the Bitcoin I even sent over there if something happens. I think there's a lot of trust. There's a lot more trust that goes down with RadFi than it does with Uniswap and your MetaMask.
Of course, because
and I'm just saying that's a huge difference to people who have big money. It's to us little guys been putting a couple thousand in, whatever. But someone who's going to be putting in $100,000, I mean, that's a big deal.
I think it is a big deal for most people. You're right, and supposedly they can't do anything as well, because you have to sign with that wallet. So that's what makes me like wondering, like, did they not give us the seed phrase whenever we first signed up? I got to re-sign up for this, because I'm curious about that, because if they have the seed phrase, they could technically.
I'll do it right now, right? Go to Uniswap. I'll sign in with my my Uniswap wallet for the first time. I never did this wallet. And I'll unlock it. All right, this is going to come up. It's going to say, hey, you're creating a RadFi account. I'm going to hit connect. You are signing sign request. I'm going to hit sign. To enter, so this is the first time. This is the first thing that pops up. I have read the conditions, blah, blah, blah. I'm signing again. And this was going to create me a new wallet. So when I click here, I said, boom, there's my trading wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, like I trust Scott. So I'm nothing with that, right? My whole thing is, big money. Being able to come in and have that same trade. We've talked to Scott. We know him, you know what I mean? He's a great guy, but big money is going to be like, okay, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah, so it says RadFi's trading wallet is a 2-2 multi-sig signature wallet that requires 2 signatures, one from the user and one from RadFi. We can't touch your BTC or tokens without permission from you. Our signature has a 3-month renewal period. So in the worst case scenario, you will still have access to your funds after that time. I mean, yeah, so
through the website.
Yeah, through the website, but they can't like spin your Bitcoin or anything without your signature on it. But yeah, in terms of access, that's something that is just kind of the limitations of Bitcoin. Yeah.
All right, let's move along though to the final thing we have here. Trevor basically says that the support ticket system is now open. Please allow 24 hours. So if you did do the the pizza thing and you haven't signed into your wallet, I would highly recommend you guys go do that or reach out to them and just make sure your tokens are okay. Only open a ticket if you're having serious issue with the airdrop. After meeting with the RadFi team and reviewing every possible launch scenario, we've decided to go with the airdrop on Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, which is Tuesday, 9 a.m. I'm guessing this is Eastern, but it might be Pacific because he is Pacific. He's PT. So this might be around 12 p.m. Eastern time, but that's the airdrop. So it might actually start trading on RadFi probably mid-afternoon, somewhere around there. So, but yeah, so if you're looking for the pizza, it'll be next Tuesday. I think this is a good idea. I'm curious your opinion on it.
I know that like you have to communicate whenever you're gonna do it, but I just wish that maybe they waited till like right before. Because
that's the airdrop, right? So they're not saying when they're going to add liquidity.
Yeah, true. So maybe that will be better then, right? Because I think having the time, people were waiting to be able to trade that right away. It really overloaded the platform and created those issues. But they also have that experience too. So I'm glad that it's happening though next Tuesday because I've been waiting on that.
Yeah, me too. I threw like $600 and see what happens with it, but that'd be great though if it was on the way up. And not like if it drops in half, just like NodeMonke's did, that would be crappy. But it is what it is. All right. That's it for that. Let's get into our next segment here. So every Friday, we are lucky enough to have the great guys from Agent Hustle, Emma Vault, MigrateFun, and probably some more projects as well. These guys are building something absolutely huge. And today we're lucky enough to be joined by Adam. Adam is absolutely awesome. Every time we have him on, he's funny, and we can talk markets with him and stuff like that. So I'm excited for this one. Without further ado, bring him up. Adam, welcome back to OnChain Revolution.
Yo. Can I interest you guys in some stable coins, bro? I mean, this is like
what they're gonna yield on that.
Well, bro. Bitcoin is considered stable, right? At some point.
I'll take it. This thing is
it's funny though. Like I was just chatting with Shannon right before I got on the show, and I'm like, because there's this thing called 402, which Coinbase is pushing as this strategy or this ability for AI agents to basically make payments through web pages and all this sort of stuff.
Whoa.
And I don't know if you've seen it or not. And so it could be, I mean, it's nothing now, but it could be something, right? Basically, it was this idea in the early internet that you could pay for anything just by like native internet money, click buy, and it would buy, right? And this is kind of like the idea with crypto. And so there's actually this like you get a 404 error on a bad web page. Mm-hmm. There's actually a code called 402, which is like payment, how to receive payment. And I said to Shannon, I said, shoot, is there a way we can connect all these stable coins from all different blockchains through the 402, because the reality is nobody knows how these stable coins are all going to talk to each other and coordinate with each other across all these different chains. I mean, literally, there's going to be hundreds, potentially hundreds or thousands of chains for unique stable coins. How are they all going to work together? How are they going to interop together? Nobody knows. And so why don't we just build it? I don't know. Just another idea. Put it in the cap, man. We're working on stuff, man.
We just got inside alpha. Like,
So
we're live. I can't cut this, buddy. No, just kidding. That sounds phenomenal.
Don't fade the emblem team, man. I mean, this is the beauty of being like a small team, where you can actually pivot and do stuff, you know, and that always makes me excited.
100%.
So the 402, that was just like a internet protocol that just never was used.
Never took off. I mean,
Wow.
at the end of the day, you think about it, you know, people in early internet days were like, how can we have, you know, micropayments to pay for stuff? And then that never took off. That idea of micropayments never really took off in the internet, because the internet didn't have internet native money, right? We settled on basically, you know, Visa and MasterCard, which is good. But still, you know, I mean, the VIG that they take, that 3%, is freaking bonkers. I mean, let's be clear. It's completely bonkers that they're able to pull 3% of every transaction basically everywhere on earth. How nuts is that, man? How did we agree to that? Seriously, how the fuck did we agree to that?
Well, it's called, you know, cornering the market and not allowing like true competition, right? And that's why I think they were so afraid of, you know, blockchain stuff.
Totally.
And Web3.
Totally. And I think, you know, that's why even like, I don't know, you know, Roger Ver, I guess, got his case dismissed yesterday, or settled for like $50 million to settle that case. And I was like, can this year be any better? Like, Ross gets out, Roger Ver's free. We got stablecoin legislation. Crypto's basically legal now. It's an incredible time. We're so fortunate that this has gone our way, because it could definitely have gone the other way, man. No doubt.
We were actually just talking about that. It's kind of like it was like almost like a pendulum, right? Where the Democrats, they pulled it one way, and we had the anti-crypto army. I mean, this was a senator that created this, right? And it was out in the open.
Remember, bro. I mean, we've already almost forgotten, bro. It was like there was uncertainty, as if we would basically be able to have self-custodial wallets. Like, that was very much in question.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
100%. It was like, we're gonna have a CBDC, but now the pendulum swung so far the other way that it almost feels like there's a side of the aisle that is just purposely trying to destroy it, like under everything. So we have like all this amazing stuff happening, but for some reason we're just not getting mass adoption, like, at all.
Yeah.
Dude, it takes so long. It takes so long. People forget how long new tech takes to become adopted. Even like the internet, which is like the fastest thing in the history of ever, still took a solid decade. And you know, even good things like payment rails, like credit cards. You know, one of my best performing posts ever, I posted, there's this video that was going on TikTok where it was like a Burger King, they're in a Burger King in like 1982, and it's a news crew filming, hey, Burger King is now accepting credit cards, right? And people, like, they're interviewing people in the Burger King, like, are you ever going to use a credit card? And the people are like, are you crazy? This makes no sense, right? But they just don't know, right? They don't know. Like, now, I mean, bro, people literally buy packs of gum with their debit card. Nobody uses cash.
Yeah.
Cash is completely dead, right?
Yeah.
But that took 20 years, 30 years to fully, like, come to fruition.
But do you think that it swung so far, like Shizzy said, over to where you know, builders aren't really scared? Because it, you know, before they were scared to really mess with anything in the US and all that stuff, but now it's almost kind of like some of these big players, they can get away with maybe manipulation as long as it's not straight up, like, you know, stealing from people and stuff like that. So because, like, we need a balance. I feel like we need a balance, which we were never given. You know, Gary Gensler was completely on the other side. It's the worst job you could ever do in terms of being a cop on the beat, like you said. But we actually need, in my opinion, is like a true cop on the beat. That's fair. And I feel like the SEC's done like so much better at not scaring people away, but it's gotten to the point where I'm starting to think that there's some big, large entities that feel they're a little too confident right now, to where they feel like they can do things without consequence. What do you think about that?
Let me ask you this: when Gary Gensler was in charge, did his regulations prevent anybody in crypto from scamming, right, or from stealing, or from hacking?
Well, no, because he didn't implement any of them, and he didn't have regulations. He just said, you know what, you're not supposed to do because stock market is here. So I think that's not really a good example to look at.
I'm saying it like this: is like, I want them to go after people who stole from people. I want them to go after people who scammed people, who lied to people and tricked them out of their tokens. 100%. Those people should go to fucking jail. How about some hackers? How about going after some fucking hackers? How about going after Google for showing me fucking the top results that take me to a scam site that steal my Bitcoin? How about, I know fucking dozens of people who've lost hundreds of millions of dollars who've fallen victim to that scam. How about going after fucking that? But they don't, right? And at the end of the day, I mean, I think the thing that really fixes behavior is markets for me is the thing. I mean, it's just like, I'll say it like this. We've talked to lawyers who work for Coinbase and stuff like this. The big players, and us now too, realize that we have basically a 3-year window during this administration where you can build things. And the idea is get big fast, because when you're big, you can fight against whoever is next in power. And you see it happening right now with Kalshi and Polymarket. They're the perfect examples of the day, which is you go out and you raise a tremendous amount of money. You partner with big players in the US and you create a moat around yourself for whoever's next is going to have a damn hard time taking you back down. Right. And that's the strategy. And, let's go, man.
And that's been a strategy for a long time. I mean, that's the strategy that Uber used. That's the strategy that what is it? WeGrow or whatever they're called.
All of them
DraftKings. They get too big you get too big to fail, and then you're paying these lawyers millions of dollars against public servants who are making 60 grand. Like, who's gonna win that battle, right?
Public servants, honestly.
Well, the SEC had a pretty good record until 2023 or 2024. But things started changing in the favor of like, hey, look, this innovation is going to happen no matter what. And so, and plus, I think all of the shadiness that Gensler and his regime just came to light from the judges that were actually not even conservative judges, right? So, yeah, but
I just know at the end of the day, like regulation, what regulation actually does is prevents the little guy from coming in, right? There's a reason you don't see, Yago's fucking sportsbook popping up, because it probably costs now to like meet the new regulation.
Yeah,
to protect FanDuel and them probably costs you $30 million to like get in the game, right, or more, right? And so I'm anti-regulation in that aspect, because I just know that regulation traditionally, everything I've seen in business ever basically protects the incumbents. I mean, we saw it with Sam Altman. Why is Sam in Wall Street in Capitol Hill trying to get AI regulation, bro? I mean, it's clear as day. He's the only player, and I'm not into that.
So how do you solve that issue then if there's the manipulation? Because they didn't do it for TradFi either.
The best way is competition. You just have to have open competition. Let the best players win and lose, and then prosecute people who steal from fucking people, man.
And then you just can't touch the big ones, like for example, the Citadel Securities that behind the GameStop situation, right? But
I mean, those guys get away with it anyway. What are we even worrying about, man? I'd rather just have other Robin Hoods pop up that encourage trading and allow trading and don't fucking rug you if you were investing in GameStop, right? You just need more
Well,
players, man.
Unless you're selling your data to Citadel, and then they tell you press pause because I need to fix some things.
Bro, exactly. Press pause. Bro. Remember that? God, that was crazy, man. Crazy times.
2021 was the greatest year ever. It was
Yeah.
so exciting, right? And so this is something we were talking about too. Like this year has been nothing. Like
No.
I mean, it's not even 10% of what 2021 was. Do you like? What are you guys seeing from a builder's perspective? Do you see potentially 2026 being that year, or are we just like delayed a year at this point because of the anti-crypto army?
The reality is, I don't think anybody knows. I think for me, I do believe like crypto Twitter, crypto itself, the core group of people who are in crypto have gotten so much smarter that the ability to create hype, bro, it doesn't exist. It almost doesn't exist. I mean, look at Aster, right? It's fucking CZ, bro. It's fucking CZ.
Yeah.
That lasted for 3 fucking days on the timeline.
Yeah.
And
It was
if you
forced.
got on day 3, you were the fucking exit liquidity, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it is so, we don't believe in anything anymore. Like it's gone, right? And so at the end of the day, where I am with that, I think it's actually just a pendulum swing as a builder. The way I look at it is we are actually swinging back slowly away from the complete nihilism of meme coins into something, into believing in something again. But it's hard. It's really hard to convince people to believe in something when we've believed in nothing for 2 years. Right?
And that's what I was mentioning earlier. It's going to be more of where the product is so good that it's not, it's more convenient for the people's lives. It's going to be more of a consumer, you know, producer consumer market versus just hype, like you mentioned before.
Yeah.
But from a builder's perspective, it sounds like you guys love what's happened this year because it helps you guys as a builder. But you can see like a lot of the retail market, like this has been probably the worst bull market year for retail users. And what gets them back? I mean, you know, what gets retail back into the game? Is it like just looking at it as kind of like how TradFi looks at their stocks eventually? You know, you look at like a solid product that you know consumers consume and then you invest in that.
I think it is. I think it's winning product. And I mean, we've seen it a bit with hype, right? And I know you guys maybe do perps a little bit, but I don't think the majority of crypto trades perps. But the reality is that they've built a winning product. Like the product won. And they had a massive airdrop. Obviously, lots of people lots of people I don't know got rich, but I've heard that people got rich. I don't know anybody who got rich, but I heard that it happened. So
all of Singapore got rich. That's about it.
This is the thing, and you get smarter with this too. Is like we realize that most of this is fugazi, like the NFTs that they dropped. Oh my god, it's $60,000, bro! I didn't buy that for 1 fucking second, not a second. I don't believe one person on earth actually bought one of those $60,000 NFTs, right? And I don't think most of crypto Twitter did. Right? We realize that that's a fugazi, right? So in some ways, like I do believe there's a legit product there. But do I believe that perps are like the future of crypto? Like, no, because I don't think most people play in that game. Do I think Polymarket has something? Sure. But at the same time, I know that, you know, prediction markets have been around since like 2015, right? And they've kind of hype cycled, you know, each, you know, presidential election. But that said, I also know that Polymarket and them are going for, like, they're going for DraftKings. They're going for stocks. They're going for like everything, right? And that's why they've managed to raise like $1 billion, right? Because it's like the investors are like, holy shit, this is a chance to be like globally every betting market, which is basically every financial market on earth. We got a shot at doing it. And so for us, it's like, first, I feel like we're legal again. You know, second, like even with hustle and a token, bro, you couldn't really do that. You couldn't buy back the token. It was staking was illegal. You know, we used to be able to burn our token. You couldn't burn because suddenly that was illegal, you know. And now we're like, fuck it. What are we going to do to make this more exciting, more interesting for our holders? You know, we're buying back the token, you know, all sorts of stuff. You know, it's just like we're, at least for the next 3 years, we're free.
I love it.
And
Yeah,
so
man.
even me like, hey, can we build something with that exchanges stable coins? Fucking 2 years ago, it would have been like, I don't know. Let's talk to our lawyers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, now I'm like, let's just, if we can do it, let's build it. You know,
Yeah,
and you
100%.
know, so it's just a different mindset, you know, and so
100%.
it's awesome, you know, building is back, and so to Yago's point, it's like I just think that um investors and traders, we just need more stuff to believe in, and that takes time to convince people again, because people have been burnt, right? Like bad, like really fucking
Well,
bad.
so I'm curious of your perspective on the founder of Hyperliquid, Jeff. He was in this cohort in 2018 with Binance and failed his project that he was building with his team. And then you fast forward, what, 6 years, 7 years later, and he has one of the largest projects in the space, right? Do you feel like this is kind of like you and the core team and Shannon's kind of like, you know, Shannon's been building the space since 2013, if you go all the way back to his experience,
Yeah.
but 2015 and Bitcoin and stuff. Are you guys gearing up for your Jeff Hyperliquid moment for
Bro,
hustle?
look, man, this is why I give credit. Anybody who's built anything that's successful anywhere, like even outside of crypto, I know how hard it is. It's really, really hard. You not only have to build great product, you have to time shit right. Like, you know, I can't remember the name of the first fucking poly market, but you know, or the first, you know, betting thing. Like they were
Yeah.
just, they timed it. They were in the wrong time, right? They were just 10 years early, 10 years too early. And we've seen it literally dozens of times in crypto. And so I try to be you know, a little forgiving with us as we take shots on different goals and we miss, you know, certain things don't work and it, you know, we don't get traction or whatever, because I know that in a lot of ways, um, getting a goal, like hitting the goal and getting a goal is its own, you have to have so many things going your way. Not only a great team, not only a great product, but your timing has to be right. And so, you know, I've told Jake, and we've had this conversation many times. It's very important that we keep our runway long enough so we can continue to take shots, right? And we had a winner or have a winner with MigrateFun, like, and I've, you know, we're like, well, what's next? And I'm like, no, we have a winner. This is a winner. And when you have a winner, what you do is you fucking triple down. We're going all in on MigrateFun, and we're gonna fucking go after it because this is a fucking winner. And they're literally, even if you're a good team, you're lucky if you hit one in your career. So no, we're fucking going hard on MigrateFun because it's a fucking winner, you know? So
100%. And that's something that I've been hearing. I've been watching a lot of like these startup movies and stuff like that, like Jobs and all these other stuff. And the main thing the investors say to a lot of these, you know, early founders is, you know, ride. Just do what
Yeah.
you need to do. Just keep growing.
keep going.
And, you know, don't worry about money. Just grow because the money will come, right? Don't worry about trying to make money now. Just try and keep taking your vision and keep growing that vision. And that's something I see you
It's
guys
hard when you
doing.
don't have any money though.
Well, 100%. But
I know that from
that
experience. I know that from experience, you know. But I mean, I've had a, you know, I don't know if how much we've got into it on the show before, but I've had multiple in real life businesses, still do,
Yeah.
right? And I just know how difficult it is, man. And even when you hit a winner, the market fucking shifts, and then it's not a winner anymore, you know. And that it's really difficult. And you know, there's no better space to be in when you win though than crypto. I mean, obviously, this is like it's the magic space when you actually win. And so, you know, we saw it. I don't know if you guys have chatted about NFT strategy. I'm sure you have, right? With node strategy and pizza strategy or whatever. Bro, when you see something working, man, you got to be quick and you got to be on it. And you know, if you're a derivative or you're a V2, you might not win. But those guys who did that, like, do I think it's just another Ponzi? Sure. But at the end of the day, like a lot of what crypto is, almost everything is just Ponzi's on Ponzi's. And if you see a winner or you craft a winner, you got to ride it. I mean, even look at that. It's really interesting. Like those guys who did that, the NFT strategy, like other people had tried that. Even in the last year, we had multiple things which were very similar. The 404s, you know, Frank from D-Gods tried something similar. Didn't quite hit it. It was actually a total flop. But, you know, So to get it right, it just shows, like, even that one, which is a really simple idea and basically had been done multiple times before, they were able to get it right. And congrats to those guys. Yeah, because it's really fucking hard to get it right, man.
Yeah, 100%. And it's kind of been like the newest meta, right? You started off, it was a prediction meta, in 2024, early 2025, and then we got into the perps, well, Hyperliquid being, this absolutely insane new monster, and then Aster came, and now we've had it in the strategy meta, right? And but through it all, it's kind of like AI has just been this overhanging thing that's just like, this is the biggest thing in the space. You guys can just have your little fun with this stuff, but it ends up being the biggest thing. And Murad, who is the meme coin guru, whatever you want to call him, he came out and he said AI is going to destroy most businesses because let's just say you have a courtyard, for instance, right? AI is going to be able to create courtyard in 2 days, and it's going to be able to put the fees down 99%. AI is going to destroy all SaaS companies. So software by a service is going to be no more a thing because AI can create the software in a day or two, right? And it's going to be that big. Do you guys see that as a plus? Not only for someone to say, "Oh, well, I can create MigrateFun," but it's like, well, I can keep getting my AI to keep making it better.
I think we're right and wrong at the same time. And I guess the right in the long term, wrong in the short term. So AI, I use it every day. You guys, I'm sure, do too.
Mm-hmm.
It's this incredible tool, and at the same time, it's very frustrating and not good enough yet. So it's both. And so in the same way that I say, well, the internet took a long time for adoption, crypto is still taking a long time for adoption. AI I think it's much, much faster. Obviously, with the video tools and stuff, we've seen that it's incredible how fast. But still, for it to just disrupt all businesses in all ways, I think it's going to take longer than we anticipate. That said, I mean, I was having a kind of a discussion with a friend the other day where there was this senator like, what's going to happen to the jobs? What are all these people going to do? And I was like, yeah, what's going to happen with I don't know, the cotton gin? Oh my God, it's going to take all our picking jobs. It's like, dude, yeah, that's what, tech does. Just because you don't have the vision to imagine what people can do doesn't mean that they won't figure something out. And we see lots of examples of that in our life. And like, even to, I don't know, I'm looking at my phone, YouTube wasn't even a thing, right? Now that I heard the other day, there's like, I don't know, 500,000 people making their living as content creators on YouTube. That didn't exist 10 years ago, let alone, 20 years ago when the idea of kind of, YouTube first came about. Right. So there are all sorts of things that like, we just can't envision it because it's miles away.
Yeah.
And like nobody on earth can envision it. You guys are too young, but I remember in like 98, 99, people started talking about
Y2K.
There can be TV on the internet. Like, this idea was TV on the internet. And the thought process then was, well, okay, CBS is spending, $1 million a year on a primetime show. How on earth, what are there going to be 50 channels? That's $50 million a year. How are you going to come up with all the money for cameras and sound studios and lighting? And, this pocket studio in my pocket was so far away from the idea of possible that literally nobody on earth thought that was possible. It was impossible to believe that there were going to be 500 million content creators or video producers on earth. Like, it was impossible to imagine. Not one person on the planet imagined it in 1999, right? So in the same way, I think with AI, like, you just got to be like, man, this is incredible. I have no idea where it's going, but let me try and work to something that maybe I can be a part of it. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, let's try to be a part of this shit, because this shit I've never seen anything like it in my life. Like, and I love crypto, right? I love the internet. This is like all of those times 50, right? I mean, it's bonkers, dude.
In society,
the video stuff. Have you guys played around with Sora?
Yes.
It's fucking
Yes.
nuts, bro. I literally, I was like, I was showing it to my wife, and she's like, I'm never gonna watch AI videos. Fucking
Mine too.
Hour later, she's, you know, we send stuff back and forth, right? She sends me, oh my God, this is crazy, bro. I'm like, that's AI. She's like, no way. I'm like, here we are, man. Here we are. Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, human society has gone through these cycles, though. I mean, you know, before the industrial period, everybody was freaking out that, you know, you're going to go from horse and buggy to motorized vehicles. They were just, you know, what we're going to do with our horses and all these things. So we've done it. But speaking of AI, you know, Hustle seems to be obviously MigrateFun, huge success. It's been, but it doesn't mean that you guys take your focus off of Hustle, because they kind of work together, right? Could you explain like how that
yeah, I mean,
ecosystem is?
we have a whole like team that just does Hustle, right? And so I don't know how much Jake told you, but we're integrating EVM. I can say that without giving away any stuff. So, you know, Ethereum and Base are coming to Hustle rapidly. And I mean, he's testing right now. We're testing him right now. And this is where when people are like, oh, well, I'll just spin up my own Hustle. I was like, bro, go ahead. Go try and integrate on another chain. It's really hard to do. It's the only way I can say it. It's really fucking hard to do. You basically are integrating with, I don't know, 20, 30 tools on the other chain that all have to work seamlessly within your agent. It's really hard. But this is kind of our moat, like building this out, building the tech. And once we get EVM, then we get all the EVM derivatives relatively quickly. And then we've got one kind of announcement chain that's coming. And so super excited about that. Super excited. I think it's top 20 chain that I think we're going to be, you know, the number one agent for sure on their chain, and allow a lot of interaction from people like you or I who wouldn't necessarily go over to that chain to play around in a seamless, easy way. And I think this is the thing that agents are going to do, which we in crypto can like totally appreciate. You know, take away the bridging experience, make it easy for me. I'll buy what I want to buy, you know. Super excited about that. So no, we're full in on Hustle. Like, we at our core believe this is the future. It's early, right? We're early in it. This is internet 1999. We know where it's going. I don't know about YouTube yet for the, you know, in that kind of analogy. I don't know how this is all going to work, but I do know that humans are going to interact with agents, and agents are going to do shit for humans. Like, that's for sure. And we want Hustle to be that, your crypto agent, man. We want him to be your dude who goes out and does shit for you, man. Makes money while you sleep, baby. Or just protects your ass, bro. Or just protects your ass.
Yeah.
Bro, I literally, this morning, I get up. I had like a call at like 6 a.m. my time. So I'm up at like 5 a.m. I was checking something. I get on a fucking wallet that I don't know what I needed to do, right? I'm on there. Fucking zero. I'm like, oh, fuck. And it wasn't a ton, because I don't keep, you know, I'm pretty good about wallet security, but still, like, it was a few grand, right? And I was just like, hits you in the chest, right? Fuck. Got a couple coffees in me, settled down, and there's like, oh, that's the wrong fucking wallet. Oh, you know, the relief, the fucking relief, right? Of like, oh God, thank God I didn't get hacked, you know? But dude, our agents are going to do this. Like, this is like that protection layer. I think it's going to be a big deal, along with trading and all the rest of it, man. So yeah, I'm super bullish. You guys know I'm bullish.
100%. And just Hustle monitoring all your wallets, right? And just not even having it like, hey, this is my wallet address. Anything, any transfer happens, you DM me, or you make sure that I'm notified, right? That type of stuff alone is going to be managed. I mean, I know there's sites that are out there that already do that, but then you're hooking your information up to a centralized, you know, entity, right? Who now can potentially send your information to people you don't want your information to, and then, you know, identify every one of your wallets at one time. I mean, that's something that I don't like.
They get hacked. God knows what. Yeah, I mean, it's like.
But if it's an AI and I'm just putting the information in there and it's just me, and, you know, obviously who knows what's happening in the back end on that, but I still feel, you know, a little bit more safer doing it with the, you know, an entity that's not like 100% going to send my information to people that I don't want my information to go to.
Totally. I mean, even this week, okay, I saw the thing happening with TO and the pizzas and stuff, but then I was like, do I want to get my fucking Bitcoin wallet out? And I was just like, I didn't do it, because it was just like, the pain point for me of dealing with it was just like I didn't want to figure it all out.
Can Hustle do that in the future?
Bro, he's definitely gonna be able to do that. 100%, bro.
Love it. Love it. And that brings up my follow-up question here about, you mentioned eliminate bridges. So we all know that cross-chain is going to be like how people do things in our space, but still there's a little bit of friction, and you see all those
friction, bro.
yeah, but you see a lot of those maps where Liquidity is bridging over here and over there.
Yeah.
I feel like if you build the product correctly, like Agent Hustle, the bridging, obviously the bridging industry probably won't love it, but you don't have to bridge. You can just do things quickly from Hustle. Is that the plan to kind of?
Well, I think
do that?
bridging is still going to exist, right? It's how it's the agent basically being able to do it for you. I think that's the secret. So the secret right now, and this is the way we're approaching it now, and this could change, of course, but the idea is that whatever, say I want to go to Base and buy a Zora coin, right? But I only have Solana in my wallet, right? How do I get over there? And right now, I'd go to like whatever, Ghosty Cash, or I go to Change Now or something. I send in some Sol, I get, Base ETH on the other side, and then I buy the Zora token, right? So for me as a human, it's like, I don't even know, 5 steps. I got to find the websites. I got to do all this sort of stuff. The idea is that the agent will do those things under the hood. That's the idea, right? So all that friction is still there. It's abstracted away for you. You're not seeing the friction. You just know that you instructed the agent, and then you got that Zora token, and you don't know how all that stuff worked under the hood. You just got what you wanted, right? If that makes sense. Yeah. So it's just
100%
away all that stuff.
It's kind of like how like GPS works, right? That's how the AI is going to be like. It's going to be like, hey, you can go this direction or this direction. This is going to be this way. This many minutes. This is going to be this many minutes. Or this is going to be this much money. Or this is going to be this much money. Which direction you want me to go? And you're like,
analogy.
I'll go this way. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
bro, that's a great analogy. Exactly right, man. Exactly right. Yep. Totally, man.
100%.
And then you don't even have to drive it. He drives you there automatically.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You're gonna be like, I don't care how I get there. I'm taking a nap. Leave me alone. Like, let's jump over to you guys had an amazing 2 weeks. I mean, you proved your project out. It's been absolutely amazing. You had 14 different teams use it, reached out to you guys, hammered away at it. It's coming down to the last 2 right now, 9/25. Was the end date? So it was coming out to the 10th. So these are ending.
One ending today, and then one in 5 or 6 days. Yep.
Amazing. So kind of walk us through the experience from the first one to the last one here. How's everyone feeling? Are people reaching out to you saying, okay, we're in now, we got this?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, knock on wood, the main things you're worried about is something goes wrong, token get locked in the contract, some disaster, right? We definitely didn't have anything like that. The contracts worked seamlessly. I mean, I will say for us, we have a lot of improvements to do. But that's really from just simplifying the user experience, right? Okay. Right now, it's kind of underneath the hood. The user, I mean, not this experience is fine. I mean, for the project teams on the back end, simplifying that process for them, meaning making it, one button easy, I think is like our goal, because it is, a bit of a step process back there behind the hood, 5 or 6 steps to kind of create the project. And then in the middle of it, when you're kind of ending the migration, it's another 6 or 7 steps. And basically we've handheld the teams all the way through it, which for the time being, that's just the way we're going to do it. But when this platform is maybe open to the public, we want it to be kind of self-explanatory, the process. Because there are a couple things where teams could have messed up and done things that would have hurt themselves or their users, right? So there are a couple things where we need to kind of dummy proof it on the back end, where people can just do it themselves, walk the whole way through themselves. But that's just a work in progress, right? What we've learned, really, the biggest thing to learn that we learned was that we need to communicate better to teams the impact of the penalty that they're going to impose on non-migrators. I'll give you an example. Like when we did Agent Hustle, we did 100% penalty. So if you weren't part of the migration, you didn't get any tokens after the migration, right? So most of the teams like Jonky or Memes AI or whatever, they're doing like a 25% penalty. So if you don't migrate before these teams migration's done, you know, at the end of the day today, you can still claim tokens after the migration ends for a period of like 90 days, right? At just like a haircut. And so I think Chonky's maybe doing whatever, 25% penalty, right? So I'm not even aware of the migration. I'm a Chonky holder. And then I pull up my chart today and the chart goes to basically 0. And I hold Chonky now that's like almost worthless. I freak out, right? But then I look at the Chonky Twitter account. It says, hey, man, if you missed the migration, click here. I go to MigrateFun. I claim my new tokens and I take a small haircut, 25% or whatever. Bro, I'm relieved because I didn't lose. You know, I still got to take part, right? But the teams that did the 100%, decided to do the 100%, they didn't realize the backlash from people who missed the migration. Even if like the teams Zara had, it was near 100%. It was like 93% of people migrated.
Yeah.
So literally, that's 93%. And then there's the liquidity pool. So it was literally like 2% of holders didn't migrate. Almost nobody. It couldn't have been more than like 5 people, 10 people maybe, right? But those 10 people were mad, right? And they weren't ready for that kind of backlash in their DMs or whatever. And they were like, you know what, we'll make you whole, and just made them whole. So that's the one thing that I don't think we put enough emphasis on for teams. Like, bro, if you're going to get significant pushback, like mad people, and you have to be able to deal with that. And so, you know, going forward, I think that's the one thing that anybody who's doing the 100% haircut are going to know clearly from us that what to expect about that. And I don't think many teams will do that in the future. I don't think many teams are going to be doing the 100%. But I do think like 25% penalty worked fantastic for the teams that did it. It's completely fair. You know, the people who migrated early, they got 1 for 1. And if you migrated late, you know, you took a slight haircut, but almost nobody's mad about that because they realized they weren't paying attention, right? And so other than that, you know, it's been great. And for a lot of the teams, you know, significant price appreciation from the time they announced the migration through to the end of the migration. It's been, you know, knock on wood, pretty good for those guys. We had one interesting one. Did you guys track the kitty one at all?
No.
In the beginning, that was one that I was really considering heavily to pre-purchase, but
Okay.
how did it do?
So it did well. They got a decent participation. But what happened was, so they migrated, right? The migration ends. You know, they sell the old kitty token and the chart goes to, you know, whatever, 20K or whatever. And people who didn't migrate were like, hey, let's CTO the old one.
Oh my gosh.
Which we had considered and talked with teams about. Like some teams that actually asked us, hey, when we, you know, dump the old token for the soul, hey, can we use part of the new token to buy back some of the old token as like a buffer protection against this very sort of attack? And we didn't build it out because it was just not going to happen in the time frame that we wanted. But sure enough, they got, at least for a little while, there was some battle on the timeline between the OG kitty token and the new kitty token. And so if you pull up the chart, the old one, it did pump to like, I don't know, 500 or 600K. And then, you know, everybody dumped on themselves and it's basically dead now too. But the new kitty token is the winner. You know, at the end of the day, biggest market cap wins. And so it's very difficult.
These two?
Yeah, I think those are the two. Yeah. So you can check it out.
Bonking.
This is
pump.
1.7 million. This is
that's
the new one.
That's the new one. Yep. So that's the new one. Yeah. And if you go to the other one, that's the other kitty.
Well, that PvP is
yeah.
That PvP is way harder to do because you have ammo and you have believers that you took over
That's
to the new one.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, you can try to revive this last one, but if you participated in the migration and you sell your tokens to go into this other one, you're an idiot and you deserve to lose your money.
Exactly. Basically, it's 75% of the people went over, right? Or 75% of the holders. And so it's hard for that other whatever 20%
that missed.
That missed to try and win. And especially when you could still, migrate or whatever. So yeah, it is just one of these interesting. I mean, we knew it was going to be a thing just because the way, crypto works, there's going to be these PvP games for sure. Especially when we open the platform up to kind of anybody being able to migrate. It could get real interesting with some of these games that happen. So it was interesting to have that though happen in the kind of first cohort, because we literally talked about it with teams about trying to prevent that. But anyway, I said to the kitty guys, because they were freaking, of course, nobody likes to be under that kind of pressure. And I said, bro, this is like, bro, use this, bro. This is the first time you guys have been relevant on the timeline in fucking months, bro. This is it, bro. Lean in, get the attention. This is the eyeballs, man. So anyway, they won at the end, but it was pretty, I think, stressful for them. Yeah.
It's really good for the space though, honestly, just because of the fact that, like, again, to your point, nobody's talking about Kitty. Like, I haven't ever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a big meme coin guy, but like, I know about Kitty now. Like, you know what I mean? Because of that. So it's like, I don't know. I think you guys are definitely this is an amazing service that you guys are providing, and that's all you guys are doing. You're not there to like mess up anything or come at anybody. Just say, hey, we have a service. If your community is interested in doing it, we will provide that service.
Totally. I mean, we were just literally before I got on with you guys talking with a relatively large, token, and it's gotten similar to like Slurf, where the thickness of the pool is so thick that it just can't move at all, right? And like, I just know this is like, it's the perfect use case to get to liven the thing back up. And it's got a great leader, but he can't do it. Dude, you can't tweet your way out of a giant, thick liquidity pool, right? And I just know when he migrates, it's going to be like, it's going to be revitalized, bro. And it's possible at 4X's once we thin out that pool, right? And so, it's just, it for a lot of these projects, it just brings life right back to them. It gives them another shot, man. I mean, look, shots come and go in crypto. And like I talked about 2 minutes ago, it's like, it's hard to get shots. And if you can get another shot, people are pumped to do it.
There's also updates too for some of the platforms that are doing different things with their contracts and stuff. So this, to me, I feel like from your pain point that you guys had personally, you developed a product that was very needed from different angles, whether it's to revitalize a project, liquidity is too thick, want to start over with marketing with this new launchpad, or migrate from a pool within the launchpad to a new pool because there's new, characteristics to the give back programs, right? So,
or I think, dude, I mean, I spoke with a guy the other day, an artist for a project, bro. I mean, it's very similar. You guys know about Project 89. It was almost identical to that, where it was like they took his art, created a meme coin around it, and we're like, hey, man, we created a meme coin. We're going to take care of you. And he made the mistake of like tweeting it out or whatever. Bro, they didn't even send him any tokens. He literally got zero, bro. Zero. And it ran to like 30 million. Right. And of course, the people who started it dumped the whole fucking thing. And who took the blame?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And so he's now stuck literally years, a year and a half later, still stuck with this thing on his head. And he's like, man, I could really use can I own a little bit of this token? And so, yeah, I think in for certain people like that, this is like a godsend. It's like not only a fresh start, but for certain guys like this and Project 89 and stuff, they can get a little bit of their token back. What's this? In Adam's opinion, will AI spearhead universal basic income and will gorge on bonbons while AI sweats?
So real quick, Stan has been someone pushing universal income all day today. Like his comments from earlier,
worried
he's
about
all
Stan.
about this UBI, bro.
Oh, I love it.
But he's
I-
also a huge fan of Agent Hustle and you guys too.
Nice, nice. Well, I love to talk about UBI, man. Love it. I am a firm anti-believer in UBI. For various reasons. First reason is that it's terrible for humans. If you ever know people who are on like government assistance, it's terrible for your human spirit. I couldn't say that more firmly. It is terrible. It's different between, hey, Yago's like, man, I need $1,000 or my kid's not going to go to school today. Here's $1,000, right? That's different than becoming beholden to somebody giving you money. Like the human spirit, men especially, do terrible in that environment. I've seen it literally dozens of times in my life. I've had it myself, right? I sold a business early, semi-retired, blah, blah, blah. Bro, not good. Humans need, men especially, need purpose and like duty and all these sort of things that we kind of joke about or whatever are real. And if you just give somebody, oh, let them sit on their ass, bro, it is not good. Humans turn into bad things. So I would definitely not encourage that. But I understand. I'm more of the mindset that, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm more of the mindset that AI creates, hopefully, creates such abundance that stuff is at or near free. That I'm far more excited about, right? And we saw that a little bit during COVID, right? A little bit during COVID, we got a glimpse into our capitalist system is so good that shit was so inexpensive that basically nobody starved to death. How is that possible? We didn't work for basically 2 years or a year and didn't starve to get death. Like that never happens in it. That's impossible. Even 50 years ago, right? So our capitalist system got us that far. I'm hopeful that the AI will create such abundance that that stuff is at or near free. You know,
I mean, you're 100% right. Because, like, think about like medicine, for instance, right? Right now, that's created by one company. Imagine if we were just able to have 5,000 companies with no employees, and it's all AI and robotics and trading, drugs. Now, then take the drugs down 90%. Like food with planting. Now you have AI out there with, there's so much in the US that's not being utilized, farming land, that now you can have AI out there with no humans, just AI planting and growing and taking the apples, and it's going to take everything down 90% in price.
Everything that humans are allowed to compete at, and robots too. Anything where there's a free market and there's open competition, price runs to near zero. Only when you have manipulated crony capitalism, bullshit markets, does price go up long term. Healthcare, fucking students, fucking costs of fucking universities. Vastly manipulated markets, price goes up. When it's open markets, price goes down, right? It's just the way it works. So anytime you see price going up on shit, you know that in some way that is a fucking manipulated market. So I'm all about, and frankly, like people are like, what about these good jobs? I mean, like I'll get back to the senator who was like, oh, what about the good jobs? And he lists the good jobs are fucking trucker and like Uber driver. And I'm like, look, I'm all for guys making $100,000 a year driving trucks. But if you don't think that's fucking human suffering, sitting in a fucking truck for 12 hours a day, go fuck yourself. Like that is human fucking suffering. I've done those jobs, man. I know that it's fucking painful. I want people to make tons of money, unlimited money, right? But I know that fucking stocking shelves at CVS is fucking brutal because I've done it. I worked at Child World and stocked fucking shelves and had fucking giant trucks come and have to unload 2,000 fucking boxes. It's fucking terrible. Don't tell me that that's a good job, bro.
I was a CNC machinist for 15
shit,
years. Like I was a CNC machine for 15 years. I was stuck in 3 walls. I saw 3 walls all day, every day. Like it was seriously like prison. It was like I got to do 9 hours today. I would talk like I was like I got 9 more hours. I got 9 more years.
Bro,
like
when you're looking at the clock,
it was good money.
when you're looking at the clock, you know it's a shit job. right?
Yep.
You guys and I don't look at the clock at all. I don't clock in, I don't clock out. I love it. This is what I want everybody to do. I want them to fucking do whatever it is. And most people won't. Like most people don't have the entrepreneurial aspect of you. Great. So I want shit to be as cheap as possible so they can support themselves with as little as possible. Right.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is free market fucking capitalism, robots, AI, bring it all on, man. Let's go. But fucking
one thing
UBI,
about-
sorry, bro. UBI don't work,
Well,
bro.
One thing about UBI though is, so where's that money going to come from? Well, it's going to become taxing the people who, that are working. If you have a company, if you have a job, you're going to get 60-70% taxes, so you're able to pay for UBI. That money has to come from somewhere. They're not just going to print it. So it's like you're just going to basically tax the people who are successful.
They're saying that there's going to be so little groups of people that have all the money that like their entire company is going to be run by AI with a couple human managers or whatever, that they're going to have to pay. You're right, like the huge tax that will spread, but everybody, including themselves, will get a UBI. But yeah, I think we're very, very far from something like that. And I agree with you. I think in specific situations, completely disabled people need assistance or something like that, but that's very rare.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm a libertarian at heart, but a humanitarian 100%, right? But I do realize, actually, I don't know if I've ever talked to you guys, but I worked in the humanitarian industry, which is basically this giant grift. And I realized that, doing that the thing that helps people the most are their friends and neighbors. Like that's the thing that really helps people. Like even with, we used to respond to like earthquakes, right? And we'd bring in teams like search and rescue teams from the US, when we had like there was a big earthquake in Ecuador, right? Brought in like these 2 fire teams that come in, search and rescue and stuff. Bro, 99% of all people are saved in like, buildings collapse scenarios by literally their neighbors and friends who go in and like pull people out of buildings, right? It's not, the government's not coming to save you. It's literally humans and people and individuals, friends and family. Like we save each other, bro. That's the way it is. Like, and I don't know. I'm more excited and more bullish as people get more bearish on like, oh my God, this AI is going to take our jobs. I'm like, great. Because probably most of those jobs suck. And humans have this incredible infinite ability to come up with new shit to do. I saw Gary Vee the other day saying the job of the future is like walking and talking with other people.
I saw that too.
Did you see that? Like human interaction is the new job. I'm like, bro, he might be fucking right. He might be fucking right.
Imagine that. You start a company. Dude, I'm about to start this company where I will come, I will send, I would send a college student, like I'll hire college students and send them to walk with you on a daily basis.
Bro,
what kind of person do you want to walk with? You want a security guard type guy, or do you want like a little
No, I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe it's gaming, right? How we may just at the end of the day just entertain each other. Like, I mean, I know it's kind of like this is so outside of the realm of like what's possible, but not entertaining the way that my kid has to be a big YouTuber and he's got to get 10 million followers to make any money, but just playing games with other people becomes a revenue source. I don't even know, but all I know is that humans are really, really good at adapting. And I'd put my money on humans any day rather than government bureaucrats to figure stuff out. So I'm team human.
100%.
Sure.
Real quick though, when MigrateFun, what can we expect for the next couple weeks? Are we expecting another cohort? What are you guys cooking with that?
Yeah, well, we are building some additional functionality to potentially go to new places. So I don't know if I can announce it yet, so I won't announce it yet, but we're working vigorously to add some additional functionality that was requested. And already, like literally, we have a bunch of teams already lined up.
Love that.
So we're going to be, a new cohort is coming quick. I would expect, kind of middle to the end of October to kind of launch those. But
Middle
for sure,
next week, dude. I don't know if you can realize that.
It comes at you fast, bro. It comes at you fast. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely this month we'll have another cohort for sure.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing, Adam. We really appreciate your time, dude. Thank you so much for coming hang out with us. Talk about AI, talk about universal income. Would love to give you the stage one last time. Is there anything you want to say to the audience before you go?
Well, I guess just go to agenthustle.ai. Definitely, if you're not using Hustle yet, get on there. It is early days of agents. Get on there. He's going to have some functionality within the next month or so across different blockchains, which I think is going to be really, really cool. This is just, get in there, start experimenting with it in the same way that you experiment with anything in crypto. Just start learning it, because I'm convinced this is the future. And if you are a team or know somebody or CTO a meme coin project and would like that fresh start or move to a pool where you're going to earn fees, we can make that happen. So just reach out.
Absolutely awesome, Adam. Appreciate your
you, guys.
time, sir. And you have yourself a good weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
You too. Take care, guys.
See you, buddy. Absolutely amazing as always. Adam's awesome. He's still fun to talk to. I feel like we can go like 3-4 hours with him. Honestly, it's absolutely awesome. Really cool to kind of see his take though, and everything. I love how it kind of starts somewhere and we kind of go somewhere else, and then we end up back where we started. So that's the best kind of conversations for sure. Absolutely awesome. We have 723 people in here. Appreciate every single one of you guys. It is Friday. It is a gloomy, shitty day in the Bitcoin ecosystem, crypto ecosystem. But there is as much as I personally put words in your mouth, but as much as I was a Debbie Downer today, I do feel like there is going to be good times ahead, and we just got to be patient, we got to be strong, and we just got to be in it every single day. And I think we're going to come out of this way stronger than we were even last year. But thank you, every single one of you guys who watch every single day. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, you're right. And especially when we have builders like, Emblem and their team and stuff like that, that's what gives you kind of like the hope for the future of the space. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys killed it, especially for a Friday. You guys definitely showed up today on a bloody day. And without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we definitely thank you guys so much for supporting us. But also without our partners, we couldn't do it. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for Bitcoin runes, alkanes, and now Spark tokens, you can do so at satsterminal.com. And whenever you swap, you earn Amber points. In fact, when you connect your wallet for the very first time to Sats Terminal, you earn a big bonus of Amber points. And Amber points are going to go towards a give back for early adopters like yourself, right? So get in there and make those trades. Be ready for when the Spark ecosystem really starts to thrive, because Sats Terminal is an aggregator. So they're going to be aggregating from all of the hot launch pads, right, in the Spark ecosystem. So you want to be ready and familiar with their platform, which is really simple and straightforward there. They also have an awesome borrowing and lending Bitcoin product. You can borrow against your Bitcoin so you don't have to sell it, because we all believe Bitcoin is going to go up, especially when you zoom out. But you can get a loan out against it, stable coins, right? And you can get into these fun activities with Spark or, the node strategy stuff, whatever you'd like to do, right? But you got to do it here because they have partnered with the largest players in the space, Aave and Morpho, players like that, to make that possible. So head over to satsterminal.com to learn more today. And then Emblem Vault, we just had Adam McBride, one of the core team members of the team over there. It is the interoperability tooling for Bitcoin ordinals, NFTs, and also other environments as well, like EVM and soon Solana. But you can actually take your Taproot wizards from Bitcoin to Ethereum right now and take a loan out against one of your wizards on the Gandhi application right now. I'm sure they're going to open that to other collections as well. But we do know the Emblem team is getting ready to open this up to other EVM chains as well as Solana. And speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product in the Solana ecosystem with agenthustle.ai. What can you do with Agent Hustle? Many things. First of all, there's a free version. There's subscription levels, but the free version is a limited tool set. And then you can pay for the other subscriptions above that. You get a discount if you use the Hustle token, which is the single token that powers the entire Emblem ecosystem with Emblem Vault, Agent Hustle, MigrateFun, and whatever comes in the future. But what can you use Hustle for? You can use Hustle to help you find a couple solid plays in the Solana ecosystem, and he'll give you some reasons why he selected these plays. Also, he has a conditional trading engine built right into him. So you can set some conditional trades and go take care of whatever you need to take care of. If you go to the gym, go to the grocery store, you can say, hey, buy fart coin when it pulls back 20%, sell it when I'm up 150%. He'll take care of that once those parameters are hit. Also, as you heard Adam say, they're going to be adding the EVM tech stack, and there's going to be some big announcements. So make sure you're following them on X. And there's another product within the ecosystem called MigrateFun. We just went over this as well, but they are wrapping up their first cohort here, guys. Amazing success. So congratulations to the Migrate team and the teams that were in that first cohort. So if you did launch on Pump Fund or a launchpad in the Solana ecosystem and you want to migrate to another launchpad, or you want to migrate to just a regular, LP pool you can manage on Radium or BDora, you can use MigrateFun to help you do that. They walk you through the entire process, really simple. And so reach out to them at MigrateFun to get more information on how you can possibly get squeezed into this next cohort or a future cohort. But head over to emblem.vision to learn about all the products I just broke down for you. And then there is Artura.finance, which is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. These guys have been grinding for a while, so they are constantly trying to make the platform better for you guys. Make sure you join every Tuesday for the Trader's Edge, which starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. It is the show that they co-host with us. But you can participate right now at Artura.finance as they are live on Botanics, which is a Bitcoin layer 2. And they have a trading competition going on right now for a first place prize of 5,000 USDC, and then a next follow-up prize of another 5,000 USDC right now. If you go to their website and go to compete, you can see who's in the lead over there, and you can see what you need to do to catch up. But a lot of announcements coming up from this team, so make sure you follow them on X at Artura Finance. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their AI tool called the Wizard 2.0, which is their latest version. It can guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. It can actually swap for tokens in Solana and BNB on your behalf. All you got to do is have Merlin Chain Bitcoin in your wallet that's connected to the Wizard here. Also, the Wizard can grab some data for you from other chains like the top 10 wallets and Fartcoin, top 10 hustle token, whatever else you need information on, BNB tokens. They can grab all that information for you and bring it back to you. So you can utilize it that way. And it can also stake and do DeFi functionalities for you within Merlin Chain's ecosystem. Now, speaking of staking, they have a proof of stake security model, and you can participate in 3 ways. The first way is to stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin, which is exciting. The first staking vault on average earns 17% for participants on return. So really exciting stuff. They have their second vault that's going to be ready coming in here in the near future. Make sure you follow them on X so you can get all the details for that as well. And then there's 2 options for the Merlin Chain token, which has been running hot. And during this pullback, it stayed really steady. So the first option is the flexible day-to-day staking vault, which you earn 15% APR. You can claim those rewards daily and compound interest those. And it does take 7 days to pull out. If you want to withdraw, there's a cooldown period for that. So just be ready for that. And then the second staking option is the bonded, which is a 6-month option, but you earn 45% APR. Same thing. You can claim those rewards daily, compound interest those if you'd like. It is a 6-month lockup, of course, as that's the name of the staking vault, 6-month bonded staking vault. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more about their ecosystem. This team is continuously grinding, making new partnerships each and every day. So head over there, and we appreciate you guys checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you need to catch up in the space, or you know someone who's trying to catch up, send them our website, because they can just get 3-4 minute reads. They can knock them out one by one and really understand what's been going on over the course of the last year. I mean, they're very quick, guys. You can check them all out here and really learn what's going on. And articles over here as well: Aster versus Hyperliquid, which Bitcoin L2, scaling protocols. It's so much, guys. Check them all out here. And if you guys need a VPN to use something like Hyperliquid or MEXC, it is very legal. It is not your country that is blocking you. Is actually the website itself. They're geo-blocking you for their own safety, but now being with this government that we have, we're not really worried about that anymore. They shouldn't be either, but they still do. But you guys can get around that by going and get yourself a VPN. I use a VPN every day. I use MEXC as my bridge. That is my favorite place to. But if my VPN's off for whatever reason, I can't use it. But you can get around that. There's free VPNs out there, but I highly recommend this one. You get 77% off, and you get an extra 3 months as well. Lock it in for 2 years. Set it, forget it, be done with it, and you always have it on your phone. Always have it connected. Your phone goes off, phone goes back on. Your VPN connects for you, and you can get up to 10 devices in one deal. So you can get 10 devices. You can get every phone in your house, every computer in your house, basically for this one price of $3 a month. Check it out there. And if you guys need merch, we have some of the best merch in all of crypto. Check everything out here: hats, jackets, shirts, and so much more. Check everything out here at onchainrevolution.io. Remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until Monday.
Peace.
OnChain revolution, roll call, market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.